Hello, salutations, and what it do? It's not the gamer off how to do our game. No vibes like subscribe. Let's get it. And welcome once again to the Aftershow Podcast. I'm joined by, of course, Jayshockblast, who was almost a little late because he was just getting off of Ed Boon's private jet. And we got a surprise guest right off the bat. You may have seen him earlier today
eating deep dish
while playing that dead game. Casual Avenger.
What's up, bro? What's good?
We got the gang
all dead game. Yo.
We got the gang all together once again. You know. It must be fate. Avengers brings everyone together. That's how that works. We got another great show because it was another great week in the world of entertainment. Not so great for Disney stock, but for everyone else. We had some interesting stuff going on. We're going to talk about the highly anticipated cover reveal that everyone was waiting for, Assassin's Creed Mirage, of course.
God, the absolute meltdowns that I've been dealing with.
I just saw that earlier, Jay. Bro, I don't know why you're a magnet for the crazies.
Dude, I don't even know who either of these two people are, but like...
Yikes. So we'll get into all Jayshockblast's drama as well. We'll talk about the new state of play that is coming this month reportedly. And of course, we'll talk a little bit of No Man's Sky. I mean Starfield, that is available for early access now. Reviews are in, so Jayshockblast can finally talk about it without getting
a Starfield jacket in the background.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm flexing that thing from now on because it apparently made someone really sad.
As it should.
Like there is somebody that like. I just want to start with this because I was shocked when it happened. So this person tweeted at me yesterday when I was live playing Starfield, like before the actual launch of the early access. It's like, how are you even playing it? I'm like, I got a code from Bethesda. Like, I don't know, try Keymailer. And like, dude was like all like salty about it. And then today, some really big Elder Scrolls streamer tweeted something basically saying, look, man, I didn't get a code. I bought it. No big deal. And the person like responded to him with my tweet with the stuff that they sent me. And he's like, meanwhile, or like something like that. Like basically implying that I got something that person should have gotten.
And I'm literally scummy, bro. Like
I'm like,
never
dude,
do that.
Like what are you even doing right now?
I'm guessing that's why he didn't get anything.
Yeah, well,
he's ensuring he won't get one.
Yeah,
and he won't ever get one.
And that's exactly what happened. I kind of responded with like, "Yo, listen, I took the other person out of the tweet because I'm like, it wasn't his fault. I actually thought his message was pretty good, you know. But like, dude, why are you yelling at me? I didn't do anything. Like, I had an opportunity, and I'm not going to say no." Like, what are you even like bringing me up for?
That's where you made a mistake, Jay. You were supposed to say no when Bethesda offered you that Starfield jacket.
Right. So now, like, we're gonna make sure we flex the jacket. We're gonna flex the stream deck. We're gonna flex my 1 or 8 hours of early access.
You should actually been wearing the jacket. That would have been a bigger flex.
Yeah, I should be, but it's hot, so I can't. I'm sure hot for that.
I'm sure you got AC in there.
Yeah, I don't know.
I couldn't believe that, bro. Like I looked at it like I'm used to seeing Jay arguing with random people on Twitter, but
I've gotten better.
No, you 100% have, bro. I've seen you literally pass up a couple easy lobs to dunk on somebody.
Yeah,
I feel like Caboose is taking over your job with attacking people in the chat lately. Like he isn't sparing any feelings lately, but you've definitely given people a pass. And it's like, when I was streaming earlier, I was just saying, like, bro, like you literally would be hard pressed to find someone with your credentials, with your background, more humble though. Like the guy who was just asking for your old PlayStation when you posted the bundle. You're like, I know if you weren't already getting that for your brother, you probably would send that to somebody.
I mean,
that's crazy.
Sean. I've known Sean for like 20 years. So, yeah, I mean, listen, first of all, my brother's paying for the PlayStation. Like, I just took it to unbox it. Like, I bought it. He's paying for it. So like, it's not like I'm just giving it to him.
Jayshockblast, still trying to stay humble.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's whatever. Like, but like, I couldn't even believe that guy. But then there's the other two weirdos. Like, all right, so are we starting with the magazine, the Game?
We're starting with introducing ourselves and to any new viewers and telling them we'll also be reviewing Ahsoka episode 3, and to subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to support us even further, you can !join. It's also in the pinned comment if you want to become a member and join the backstage. And we also want to shout out the chat because we got some of the regulars here. We got Old Man Eastwood. We got Tyler Davis, Wookie Lover, BMR. We got a Black King making a rare appearance. Hope everything's good with you, my friend. He's got some stuff going on, so we just want to make sure everything's cool with you, my friend. We got Hoarder Gamer in the building. What's up, Hoarder Gamer? Arkham 927, Simple J. Appreciate you, Joel. What's up, Joel?
I saw Simple J earlier.
Thank you all for hanging out. We greatly appreciate it. So yeah, we can get into the first story that broke the internet. The highly anticipated Assassin's Creed Mirage Game Informer cover reveal.
It's bad marketing, Sadot.
Terrible marketing. The worst possible marketing.
Like, all right, so this is what I was about to talk about. Like, yesterday, I tweeted something like, all these stupid people crying about bad marketing. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 could blind drop tomorrow, okay? And it would be the highest selling comic book video game of all time that day, period. Like, the marketing isn't the issue. The issue is all of these thirsty ass fans that want to be spoon-fed something every single day, that want to sit here and claim that because they're not getting a constant IV drip, that it's bad marketing. They don't need to market to you. You're already buying the game. They're wasting time and resources, like pitching it to people that are already going to get it. Their job right now is to get the ones in the door that weren't. So the marketing they need to concentrate on is showing stuff you've already seen on ads during like Monday Night Raw or like the NFL Monday Night Football, you know? Like, those are the people they need to go after.
100%. It's just people who's speaking purely from a place of ignorance. Like, you clearly don't know what you're talking about, and you're saying ignorance with confidence, which is what the internet does. But it's like, bro, chill. To say that they're doing a bad marketing job when all of their trailers are doing over 1 million views, it's like, what are you talking about, bro?
Listen, I went to GameStop today. While I was there, the guy had 5 phone calls for people looking for either the controller, the side plates, or the console. And he's like, "No, we're sold out." Yeah, GameStop got them. Every GameStop got them, but they're probably sold out. Like, bad marketing. They sold through all their peripherals. Terrible marketing.
Jay, don't you know marketing means give me things that I want?
Apparently I don't know anything about marketing. Like, the whole argument was stupid. And like, this guy keeps dropping N-bombs and like talking about white people, and I'm like, my guy, I'm sorry that you're stupid, but like, you're wrong. And it's not that you're being critical. Like, that was his like big thing, is like, oh, I'm sorry, you just can't handle me being critical. No, you're just wrong. Like, you wrong. Like, you're not like
stupid pill with your breakfast this morning.
Exactly. It's like, dude, but like, what? Listen, I'm glad those guys got to go to France. You know, like, that was a big part of the first.
Yeah, I saw they dropped the hands-on. I was like, oh, I was thinking of doing a reaction to the hands-on when they got to play in France, but then I looked at it and I'm like, oh, this is like a fake Vice documentary. I have no interest in watching this. I thought it was going to be like an actual, like, let's just look at some hands-on on gameplay, and we'll give us our commentary over it. Now, as soon as I saw it was like a travel vlog, I'm like, nope.
So one of the dudes that was in that stream when you were, I was watching you when you did the cover reveal stream, and one of the guys that was in that stream, Marcus Stewart, is actually the guy that I like sat next to at the Royal Rumble. He's a pretty cool dude. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Humble brag, of course.
Yeah. But I just Spider-Man fans are just crazy.
The fact that people were actually saying they wanted Assassin's Creed to get delayed is crazy.
The fact that Jay actually speaks to these people is a testament to how nice he really is.
But you know what it is.
I don't even do it anymore. I literally just block and just move like in a nanosecond. I'm at the point where I could just speed read the comment without even properly observing it and just see it's toxic and just block instantly.
Yeah, and I have been doing good with that, but like I always seem to walk into the ones that like you don't think it's going to turn into what it does, and then before you know it, you're like just caught in this like web of deception.
Definitely shouldn't engage with him. But the guy who like quote tweeted you like, oh, I didn't get it, but this guy got it. It's like, I don't blame you for addressing that because it's like that's wild, bro. Like, that's.
Yeah. There was a couple. There's a like that. If I can give content creators, whether you're doing decent or you're trying to get up there, because I saw this when people started posting that they got their Spider-Man 2 limited edition stuff from PlayStation. I was one of the people who Sony sent the Spider-Man 2 controller and covers to for free. And of course, there was some people that were salty about that, and somebody was like, and you saw the usual dumb comments like, "Oh, it should have gone. Why they give it to the big creators? They should have gave it to people who deserve it." And I'm like, okay, but there was a creator who was like, "Oh, I've been covering Spider-Man for 2 years. I didn't get." I'm like, that sort of thing will never get you any free anything from a studio.
People are gonna tune you out.
Yeah, people.
No one wants to hear that.
Like this is me. I'm in year 3 of being a YouTuber. I've seen a lot. I've talked to Jayshockblast, who's basically runs the industry. I have a good relationship with Cammy, who is a great community brand manager type of person. I've had conversations with her in the DMs, and she's talked about how kind of her job experience, and the one consistent thing is that people in that position hate dealing with content creators who are entitled.
Yeah,
like it is a nightmare. It's a nightmare part. Their job is hard enough, and then they have to deal with content creators who are whining or yell at them if they don't get the thing that they want, or if they feel like they deserve a code. That nothing will get you blacklisted faster than being the content creator who's going to complain if they don't get a code that they feel they deserve. Newsflash: everybody doesn't get. You're not Mr. Beast. Like the fact that there are people with like 8,000 subscribers sitting here thinking like Sony's going to just hand them something for free, and if they're not, they should complain about it. Is wild. Like, Jayshockblast was just turned down for New York Comic Con.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's definitely like I'm having a hard time with it internally, but like not because like they owe me anything. I'm like, damn, did I just not do enough the last times that they've gave me these?
Even Caboose didn't get the free controller and cover from from PlayStation. Caboose,
that's
he's gotten the last 2 Spider-Man games from Insomniac for free. he's got over 600,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
and even he didn't get one. So
sometimes it just happens like
it
that.
It just happens. Like, the worst thing you can do is be a creator who's going to go on Twitter or social or any other platform and complain about it.
Nope.
It's never a good look. It's never going to go well for you because you may be nice, but a community manager, a PR, someone who works in PR, they're going to if they see that, they're going to be like, oh, this creator is probably going to be a problem somewhere down the line. They're not going to get something on time, but they're not going to get this opportunity, and they're going to be bitching up to me in the DMs or whatever. I'm not going to deal with it. I'm just not going to work with them. And you're sabotaging yourself.
People are going to judge you just as much when things go wrong and how you handle it as they are when things go right. Because like anybody can be cool when it's going your way, but like what happens when somebody says no? You know what I mean? Exactly what Horror's saying. And listen, I don't think people understand. Like anybody could be a content creator. Everybody could say, "Oh well, I've been covering this for 10 years." Like the guy I talked to at GameStop, one of the guys, his YouTube channel is like over 10 years old, and I think he has like 1,000 subscribers or something. And like he's talked to me about, he's like, I just do it because I want to, and it is what it is. And do I wish things I would get more people? Sure, but like I don't know, I have fun with it. And you have to understand, like somebody like that can sit there and say, well, I've been covering Spider-Man games for 10 years. What does that mean?
It
doesn't mean anything.
Like they don't because that's another problem. It's not just the entitlement. Statements like that also tells them that you don't understand the business. Right. The reason why they gave those free gifts out to content creators is because it's marketing. like they don't care how earnestly you cover this game or that game. It's irrelevant. They want to work with people who are not only professionals, but people they think will help them reach more people because it's promotion. It's a mutual situation. You're getting free product and content. You can turn it into content, and they're promoting their product to other people who they want to buy that product. That's how that works. It doesn't matter if you've been covering a game for 20 years or no one cares. Like, do you have a large channel? Do you have a following? Are you consistent? Do you have a good community? Are you professional? And have you even I'll even ask, like, who did you reach out to? Like, do you expect them to just you think Sony PR are just scrolling through YouTube, looking at looking at the 30th, going through all these Spider-Man 2 videos with identical thumbnails, talking about they confirmed this, and being like, I wonder which content creator I should. No, they don't give a shit. like the people who get those opportunities are people who took the time behind the scenes to form relationships with people that work at these companies. The reason why I got that opportunity is not because I waited or sent or looked at the generic media contact form and was like, oh, maybe I research what PR people I need to talk to, who works at Sony, which is the best email. I put together a pitch deck, like an actual pitch deck. Like, if you don't know what that is, that's another problem. So I was fortunate enough to get a response. Like, if you're not doing any of the legwork, why do you expect opportunities just fall in your lap?
Said, though, they if you don't even understand that's part of the process, and you think people are just being chosen at random, you're speaking from a place of ignorance again. So it's like, to come at Jay's credibility in terms of getting chosen for one of the biggest games, which he has a history of being connected to day one products ahead of time, and being like, oh, well, they chose this guy. It's like, my dude, de-introduce yourself, fall back, and go do some research.
That's the thing, though, is like, when I started my channel, the first game that I covered was Battlefield Bad Company 2. You know what the second one was? Fallout New Vegas. Okay. So like, I've covered Bethesda games for 13 years. It hasn't been my focus. This other creator that like who actually had the right attitude, I don't think that person deserves any flack at all. There's like ESO Danny or something like that. That person probably deserved all this stuff and probably should have gotten a code. I can't speak to why they didn't, but like I don't cover it at the same extent as they do, and I wouldn't even I would understand if that person looks at me and says, "Why him and not me?"
Yeah, that's
like anybody. That's natural though to second guess things, but it's like you don't go ranting.
You don't say it out loud. You don't say it out loud,
right? And not only that, but like I don't know. Maybe I don't think that way because it's like I see you get an opportunity. I'm like, oh, I'm so happy for Sadot. This is great. And what do? I celebrate it. I see Caboose get amazing opportunities. Like Caboose made a TikTok video with The Rock and Zachary Levi. I'm sorry?
And Lucy Liu.
Like he's made like all these TikToks with these people. I'm not jealous of that. That's awesome. Caboose got to do that, you know.
If you want, Jay, we can kidnap him. Like we can take him up and get him.
No, and here's another one. There's this YouTuber that goes. His name is Rugged Eagle, and he used to be in my chat all the time. Like he's a longtime subscriber, and he has told me specifically that I inspired him to become a content creator. Now he's probably surpassed me as a Lego creator because that's all he does. And he's really good at it. He does a good job and he goes back and does all the old games and stuff. And I don't have that in me to do anymore. I've played those games and like last year they brought him out to TT Games. The only creator I've ever seen get to do something at TT Games. And I'm not mad about that. That's awesome for him. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like good for him. Like yeah. It is what it is. Sometimes there are just opportunities that are there and you get to do them. The whole Mortal Kombat community should hate me because I'm terrible at the game and I've been invited to the studio twice. Right?
Yep.
It's connections though. It's and
you don't know any other names.
Yeah, I honestly like when Caboose was getting crapped on for not knowing who Asra was, okay? I was like, who the fuck is that? You know, like I have no idea who this is. There was some background guy. I actually, to be fair, I think everybody didn't realize who it was, but I can't even think of his name now. But there's some what do they call him? Cameo. That like I'd never seen that guy before, you know, and like
Chaos.
No,
not Chaos. That's what he uses. I know who you talk.
I don't know most of the roster, especially after they like radically changed a bunch of the character design.
Yeah,
like I recognize Liu Kang, Scorpion, Sub-Zero.
What is his name?
But like it's like a black guy, and I think he's like a cop. Darius, yeah, Billy.
Darius,
okay.
I don't know who you're talking.
Darius. I had no idea who Darius was. Okay.
Of course you did.
No, I think it is 2 R's in Darius. I had no idea who he was at all. All right. No, I know who Luke Cage is.
Yeah. Do you?
Anyway,
Havoc. That's the guy I was talking about.
Oh, Havoc. Yeah, the guy who rips his arm off and beats people with it.
Yeah. I'm like, Chaos is what that's his power is based around.
Yeah, so like, look, man, like I've built relationships over 13 years in this industry. You know, I've just had the opportunity to like meet people and
exchange bags of money.
And I do good work, and they just want to work with me because they know they can trust me, and they know I'm going to do something well. And
honestly,
that's what it comes down to.
You never know who's watching your reaction as well. So like. Not being selected for the Avengers content creator program. Me and Sadot, we're always on the outside, but our videos are always doing well with Sadot. Just he's not even in the stratosphere. he's in space with Superman looking down on the numbers. But it's like, we never got on there and ranted about that. You never seen any major tweets like people would speak up on our behalf, but it's like I don't need to go at this company. First of all, the content creator program was nothing to be a part of. It's like you're not missing anything.
Yeah, I was getting the information anyway, and Miller and I had a relationship with Miller, who had more information than the
Exactly.
people in the program.
The people in the program wish they could talk about the stuff Miller talks about because they get shut down, and it's like,
yeah, Miller would literally send me stuff all the time, and the people in the content creator program would have no idea what it is.
And it's like you can literally, like, the developers themselves are reaching out like, hey, we're a fan of your channel. We really like you. Let's have a private conversation. Forget the creator program. Forget that. You know what I'm saying? You don't need that. What you're getting here is better than that. And we trust that you're not going to go telling what we share here. And it's like, cool. This is much better. This is a much more engaging conversation than any of those Discord chats with the content creator program, which we know all the people in there for the most part.
Especially after we found out Brian's involvement and his other activities.
It's like you don't, you're turning people off. So you think you're targeting and attacking the people you're mad at, but it's like the world can see this. This is public. And now the people who are friends with the people you're attacking, oh, well, I don't want to work with that person. And you just killed off multiple networking opportunities just by being an asshole to one person. And it's like, that's short-sighted.
I have to tell you something. They all talk. They all know each other.
Yes, they do.
Like let me just tell you how this happens. There's cross-pollination, right? Like, so I meet Cammie when she's at WB. What happens? Cammie gets an opportunity to go to 2K. And you know what she wants to do? She wants to work with me. So we work with 2K, and I meet all these people through 2K. And then guess what? Cammie decides to go to Bethesda. Now she's at Bethesda. I still know the 2K people. I still know the WB people. I've made good impressions with them. And now I've made good impressions with the Bethesda people. Because, like, I'll put you this way. When I was going to Chicago, this is crazy. At 6 o'clock in the morning, the director of Yellow Pike Media was like 3 people in front of us, and I've met him once in New York for Redfall, and I've had limited interactions with him and everything, but I made so much of an impression then.
I thought you were going to say so much money.
Yeah. He recognized me. We recognized each other, and we sat there and talked the whole time going through security, and like, I'm in with them, and they cover other games. They're just a third-party PR marketing company. So, like, that's how it happens. And there's other companies like 47 that have like 1 billion people working with 1 billion different companies. Like, you build relationships. I make time. I'm lucky that it's close, but I go to PAX East every year, and I get on those press lists because that's how it happens. They say, hey, these are all the people that are coming for press. And now you have all the studios that are there. They have your name. They start sending you the emails. Like, I wish, trust me. But, like, you have to understand, like, there's so much more to it than just making videos and putting them on YouTube. Like, you do have to network. You do have to meet people. And, like, when you meet people, you have to make the best of that impression, and like, that's it. It's and I've been able to do that. I'm very professional. Like, I know I argue with some people on the internet, but whatever.
Yeah,
but like,
but you're not super toxic. You're not ranting like when, like, I'm sure you wanted Spider-Man to be revealed for the cover reveal, but you didn't go on a meltdown like,
Jay actually was glad we did it so he can tell people they deserve it.
I honestly didn't even know it was a thing that was like happening until like I saw your stream. And
it wasn't even a big deal because it turns out there was a reason for Assassin's Creed getting the cover reveal instead of Spider-Man 2, and that's because they're doing their own thing. There is a state of play happening reportedly this month. We got that information from the GOAT himself, Jeff Grubb, the man who's literally never wrong about anything when it comes to leaks. This man has been on fire this year in particular. I mean, the February state of play the PlayStation Showcase down to the exact week. the Black Panther and Iron Man game. This man can't miss when it comes to leaks. And on his podcast, he mentioned that someone asked if there was going to be like a first party focused PlayStation Showcase / State of Play before the end of the year, since Sony skipped Gamescom. And he said, yes, there's a State of Play, 90% it's happening in September. So, and he also mentioned on Twitter that this whole recent update about the price hike for the PlayStation Plus yearly membership is also possibly another indicator of this upcoming State of Play, which is great news. So, Spider-Man fans will finally, once this officially announced, Spider-Man fans will hopefully stop complaining about marketing for at least 5 minutes.
dude, literally just since we started, those two people have, after 4 hours ago, I like deuced out, restarted the argument. Like, I'm like, dude, have a good day. I don't care.
Literally is not worth the other ever. And I've been looking at this all week, like this whole bad marketing thing. I'm like, there's always something the Spider-Man community has to complain about.
Well, I'll tell you what's funny is, like, at least 6 studio people liked my tweet. Like,
as they should. Like,
it's that's not a flex, that's a confirmation of how stupid the argument is. That's all.
Listen to Jayshockblast. He will get you paid, or at the very least sent free stuff from Bethesda.
Yeah, if you want free stuff, send Jayshockblast 3 money bags and make a wish. That's how it works.
I believe you're supposed to rub a nickel and say my name 3 times. I don't know, something like that.
Something like that. But I'm personally excited about. I'm always excited about a State of Play, but I am curious in particular about this State of Play, because I feel like it's definitely going to be would have to be focused on Spider-Man 2, because there's not really much first parties. I mean, they could. This is where it could get interesting, because PlayStation. Remember, there was reports that PlayStation held a lot of stuff back from their PlayStation Showcase because people were wondering why there weren't more first-party stuff revealed there. So if they're doing another State of Play first-party focus, obviously we're expecting Spider-Man, but there could be some of that stuff we didn't see at the showcase that we were expecting. Off the top of my head, I know people are waiting for the Twisted Metal remake to get revealed. They were hoping for an update on The Last of Us Factions, which doesn't sound like it's happening anymore. And there's also the Ghost of Tsushima 2, or at the very least, Ghost of Tsushima to PC. We're expecting that anytime soon. Long shot, but maybe Marvel's Wolverine update. But Stellar Blade, that was supposed to be a big release for PlayStation. That's probably getting delayed. I think that's going to be delayed because we had that report previously that there were some internal delays. And it feels like Stellar Blade is more likely to get delayed than maybe Helldivers 2 as well, but possibly Helldivers 2 might still drop this year, but they might both get delayed. What do you guys think?
I was actually going to ask you what you were expecting from Insomniac Spider-Man, specifically at the State of Play.
The State of Play for Spider-Man, I can tell you that they're definitely going to be promoting the deluxe edition. They want to. That's one of the things they've been working on. They have that they've been setting up that trailer for the deluxe edition suit. So they're going to have some kind of trailer, some kind of showcase where all the pre-order suits are going to get seen in like actual action. So a little bit of that. I'm expecting a little bit of new gameplay as well, and I'm sure Brian Intihar will be on for some interviews. Every time they do like a big presentation, they do some separate interviews around that as well. So that's pretty much what I would expect. A little bit of new gameplay. Maybe we'll get some Advanced Suit 2.0 gameplay, because that's the one thing we haven't really gotten. You know, they do a little bit of it in Across the Spider-Verse, but you know, it's literally tiny on the screen. so that was really cool. So I'm thinking we'll get a little bit of that, and the promotion of the deluxe edition suits, and another interview, and that's probably about it. I don't think they're going to go too crazy with you know, spoiling the story this time around. They seem to be playing this one a little closer to the vest, because I can tell there's a lot going on in the game, and they want to save some stuff for Game Informer, I'm sure, because I think they're going to get the cover reveal for October instead of September, and they'll have some stuff for Game Informer, and then they're going to have of course the hands-on reviews before launch, and then we'll get to launch. I think that's going to be the timeline.
That's going to make it even more hilarious about the meltdowns when it's the cover for October.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Like that, and that's the thing. Like they don't need that cover. Like they don't. Like it's convenient. It's nice. It's cute. Like obviously, haven't they been on the cover before many times?
Every Insomniac Spider-Man game so far has been a Game Informer cover game.
Yeah, and like here's the thing. Like they said something that was very revealing. Like they seemed. I feel like the Game Informer crew that did that stream were a little turned off by like the Spider fans. Okay.
Because, yeah, you think?
Yeah, because like they've been like, listen, it's a two-way street. Both parties have to want to work, you know, and like it's clear that Insomniac just didn't want to do that, especially this early. There's no reason to show this much stuff. Like, do you want the whole game shown to you?
Yes,
they do. They do.
It's clear.
What makes it funny is they have already bought the game. You're complaining like you still have to be sold on it.
You're not the game months ago. You're not the target audience.
You're not.
You are the super fan. What you're asking for is fan service, not marketing.
Correct.
Okay. When they do deep dives, that's fan service. Yeah, it's kind of marketing, but the reality is they're not doing that for the people that aren't in yet, right? Like they're doing that for the people that want to see all of this stuff already.
Exactly.
It's and like these weirdos like, hey, you don't know anything about marketing, kid. I'm like, dude, I'm definitely twice your age. Like, so
and the actual funny thing is that I've literally seen Spider-Man fans complain about Insomniac showing too much in other games for like the one. I remember the Spider-Man PS4 trailer. They did a story trailer, and they were like, "Oh, they show too much."
I don't want anything else. I want nothing else. Like what you're describing, the state of play being showing off like what the skins in the deluxe edition look like. That's fine with me. Okay, that makes sense because you know there are a lot of Spider-Man fans who, for some reason, think $10 is too much to get the extra suits. Like, I don't know, man. I just bought skins in Fortnite and they were like $15. Homelander in Call of Duty was $20. Okay. So like that was one skin. So like, please tell me more about how awful paying $10 for an extra suits are. You know, I'm sorry. It's not that big of a deal.
And extra skill points to start the game.
And Ninja Turtles. If you want to get all the Ninja Turtles stuff in Street Fighter, it was like $80.
Yeah.
So like, please tell me how bad it is. Okay. Like the difference between Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, and Michelangelo is literally their freaking little garments. Okay. This strip, and the knee pads. Okay. That's it.
It's the same, it's literally the same skin otherwise.
Like it's literally like you complain about like the $5 recolors in Marvel's Avengers. Whew, let me tell you a little bit about Street Fighter 6 and the Ninja Turtles.
Back in my day, Avengers recolors were $15.
I mean, not all of them, but most of like the little ones.
They unfortunately they slashed the prices, but yeah, they for that first year and a half, it was like, ooh.
Yeah. So like, it's just funny to me, like how like, dude, you're a fan of the game, just pay the $10. But those people, like, there are a a lot of the people that are like, I'm just getting the standard edition. I don't care about those skins.
I'm sorry, complaining about $10 is crazy.
And guess what? They will market to you for that, because that is what they'll probably show. Like you said at State of Play. Look at how cool these skins look in game. You really want to pay us extra $10. You're gonna do it. That's where they need to market.
Yeah, they're trying to upsell them the deluxe editions. That's all. That's marketing. Yeah, the people who want I want more gameplay. I want more trailers. Yeah, but you literally pre-ordered the deluxe edition. You just got the plates and the controller, and you've got a collector's edition sitting ready to ship. You don't need another trailer. You're already all in.
Yeah. So like, it's not marketing. It's IV drip. It's spoon feeding. All right. It's entitlement. Exactly. It's what Capte is yelling here. You know, it's like, it's entitlement. You want everything now because you're too impatient to wait until October, and you hide behind these things of, oh, it's just criticism. Just criticizing.
That's a favorite among the most toxic people on the internet. It's just criticism, bro. I just told the developer to unalive themselves. That's criticism, bro. They can't handle criticism.
I don't get it, man. Like, and the weirdos that like responded, I wish I didn't give them that much time. I really do, and I'm at a point where I'm just making fun of them. Like, I've reached the just respond with a GIF of you wrong, though.
I mean, that's the most energy you should give stuff like that, Jay, because it's legitimately not worth it.
No, I don't care anymore. Like, I'm like, guys, get out of here. Just asking questions.
People are just unwell and chronically online.
Dude, like, we all want to know more about. I want the game right now. Like, we all do, right? I will say this. My brother's console did come with a code for the game. So
let me purchase my console now. Get that?
I didn't get mine didn't have a code, but it did come with this very nice card from Sony, saying thank you, and giving me the guidelines for sharing my free gift on social media.
Yeah, and that's awesome. Like, I love that for you, and like, you've obviously been grinding out. Like, you work hard. Like, it may like.
And this came the same day as the Sony gift, I literally they came with like within hours of each other. Awesome. The Sony package.
I just want to say that it warms my heart so much to see people with these. Like, when people tweet at me that they got theirs, some people sent me DMs, and like, it means so much that like that project was like, it wasn't about money to me. It was just like wanting it to be made and wanting it to exist, and now it does.
It's so well made too. This is a perfect representation of Best Boy Thor.
Yeah, I think it's so cool. I haven't even gotten mine yet. My mom got hers though, which is all that matters. And that was actually the biggest reason I wanted them to get me. Mine doesn't have the tag though. This is just a prototype.
I kept mine on because this is going to be a collector's item.
Hopefully. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna keep the tags on my other ones. It was kind of cute when my brother came downstairs. He got his too, and Thor was actually jumping up trying to get to them. I ordered 20. So once I get them, I will. They were $30 plus shipping. So once I get them, if anybody didn't get the chance to order them, I do have like a bunch that we ordered. So I'll let people know on Twitter.
Yep, hit up Jayshockblast on Twitter, and he will hook you up with one of these beautiful Thors. Look at that. Look at how can you say no to his face? Look at
Yeah, they came out so good.
This is actually really good. Like I'm not just shilling because he's he's a podcast partner who slid me a bag of money. This is actually this is actually really good. Like when I got it, I was like, oh yeah, the Thor thing, and I picked it up like, oh my god, this is actually really good quality.
Yeah. So, and it's hard to like sell that through the internet. You know what I mean? Like I could say, hey, look, these are really cool, but not everybody's a plushie person either. So like,
I'm not either. I had to get one because I am a dog person. So
yeah, I was gonna say I don't picture Sadot having a big plushie collection, and if he does, they're all Nezuko.
This is a
body pillows.
If I was gonna have a waifu body pillow, it would definitely not be Nezuko. it would be Black Cat or Urza Scarlet or Cammy.
No,
or
that's
Chun-Li.
my dog Thor. See if I can get the best boy in there. Thor.
He's not wearing his uniform.
No.
In person.
He's coming through the ceiling with his cape.
No, I think he's like in the bedroom with my wife. But usually if I just shake the tree. Oh, that worked. Here he is.
Oh, here we go. Doggo cam. Get yourself a tree.
He's all right. Now I got slobber all over my hand. Worth it.
What else is new?
Is that a fat joke?
no, actually.
No. Anyway.
That was a shill joke.
Makes sense.
No, but you definitely hit up Jayshockblast to get yourself your Thor plushie on Twitter. You know, help us spread some positivity while all these people on the internet are being toxic. You know, be the change. Don't be that guy. Be the change you want to see in this broken world. Instead of complaining about the lines on Spider-Man's suit or the fact that they haven't had 30 trailers in the last 5 days or Mary Jane's face. just get yourself a plushie and chill the fuck out until the state of play. Because I'm excited for Spider-Man 2, just as a creator, as a fan of the game, but I really want to see some Wolverine and some Ghost of Tsushima 2. Like I would be much more excited. If there's obviously if Spider-Man 2 is headlining, I'm happy because that means I'm gonna make a lot of money that day. But if they're showing Wolverine or Ghost of Tsushima 2, I will actually scream. Like when Spider-Man comes up, I'll be like, oh yeah, cool. Let's go. Let's see what they got. Because I know it's coming. But Ghost of Tsushima 2 or Wolverine, I will literally scream.
Yeah, and that was another thing that came up in the process. Like, oh, I'm so sick. Like the person was complaining about like they're so bad at marketing. Oh, they announced this game and then it's radio silence for 2 years, and it's like, well, you don't understand why they do that? Okay, there's a lot of reasons why they announce a game that early. It isn't just to get the excitement and momentum going. It's an advertisement to other developers that, hey, we're making this game and we're hiring, and that's a big part of announcing a game that early. That's exactly why Iron Man got announced so early by Motive, because then you see a billion job listings. And I can tell you from firsthand conversations, that's exactly why Wonder Woman was announced that early, because they were building up the staff. Yeah, these are established studios, but they still need more people to do things like with what they're working with. So there's no downside to that.
And Insomniac did one better by actually giving you a release window. So you had even less reason to bitch about it because they straight up told you it's coming out in 2023. So all you had to do was shut up and wait. Like why would they be dropping trailers every year or every month for a game that's still in active development, that is not even available for pre-order? Like, people just can't think beyond their own selfish needs and aren't even thinking about in terms of practicality. Yeah, they did 2 years of Radio Silence because they just announced the game, told you what year it's coming out. Like, that's all you need. Why would they don't understand that they probably think that putting together a trailer is just as simple as playing the game and hitting record and then editing it and final cut for a few hours. Like, no, like, putting together these trailers and showcases takes a lot of time and resources, and they only do it to sell the game.
Yeah.
Like,
that's one way to look at it, or you can simply just say it's bad marketing. Just leave it at that.
It's not what I want. It's bad marketing.
Yeah, I want it, but I want now. I want a trailer now. It's bad marketing.
We want now.
No, yeah, like, there's literally no reason for them to have been doing trailers or anything in 2022, because the game wasn't available. It wasn't even available for. You couldn't even wish list the game until like the end of 2022. Like, why would they be having a trailer and gameplay for something that's not even on sale yet?
You know, like the Elder Scrolls 6 was announced like 3 years ago that it was happening, and I think the other day they just announced that it's finally exited pre-development.
Yeah,
like concepts, basically. Like, they're now essentially done writing the game and like planning out what they want to do, and now rolling into the actual production stage, like 3 years later. You know, what did you lose during that time? You know that it's coming. Like, yeah, if there's radio silence, they're working.
Honestly, completely forgot about Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've been handling with the Elder Scrolls Online, which has been doing really well, you know? So, like, there isn't a huge rush for them, because they're still, like, why would Grand Theft Auto ever make another game when people are just going to keep paying truckloads of money?
Literally, that GTA Online makes billions of dollars in profit a year,
and it's a 10-year-old game. I think it's even older. I think 2011.
Yes, that's how. Like, they legitimately they have no reason to make another one. Like,
I played that game on Xbox 360. Hold on, let me Franklin. I had one video.
Like, that's actually wild.
September 22nd, 2013. I managed to find Franklin. It's what happens when Franklin finds Trevor in game, and it's basically before they met. So 9 years ago. It's got like 1.1 million views. Like, that's how long ago this game came out.
Still printing money. Like, that's why they're taking their sweet time with GTA 6. I hear they're targeting 2025, 2026 maybe, but like, they can put out in 2030. It doesn't matter. Like, they've made so much money. You know, obviously you want Rockstar to put some more effort into some other stuff, like, you know, the recent controversy with Red Dead, but like, when it comes to GTA 6, is like, yeah, they can just take their time. Especially, they had to deal with that big data breach and leak and everything. Like, so yeah, they just like, okay, well, in the meantime, we're going to continue. We're making obscene amounts of money, so we don't have to. But like, I'm wondering why 2K hasn't learned this lesson yet. Like, they put out a new game every year, and they're a live service. They don't have to. Like, they could. I guess they like the idea of keep pushing new sales, but they can literally just go live servers. Just make NBA 2K online. They just this year added crossplay finally. So, and they embraced the idea of seasons, and they even added a season pass this year. Like, you're basically there already. Just make that the game, and just do a roster update every year.
I wonder how people would respond to like paying for that update, though. Like
they would pay the same way they respond to if they will spend $100 every year for the new game, they're going to pay they would pay for an expand if it was literally just an expansion. They would pay, especially if it was reduced season pass expansion. They're already paying for just to upgrade their character. Like if you want to make a build in 2K, it's going to cost you like $200.
I got you.
I'm
very ignorant
2K,
to that.
The people who play 2K, who buy 2K every year, are committed to paying. Like the game is monetized out the ass. So at this point, 2K might as well just take it easier on themselves as developers and just be like, you know what, instead of rushing to make a new game every year, let's literally just have it just be seasons and expansions.
I'm ignorant to the way, like, I don't play a lot of sports games anymore. I used to play them all the time. So I don't really understand modern sports games as much. I do follow a bunch of the 2K next makers. I believe in professional courtesy. So like some of them followed me. So I'm like, I'm gonna follow you back. I feel like that's, professional courtesy. And, as long as you're not like obnoxious, then cool. So like I've been seeing they had their community day last week.
Yep.
So I've been seeing a lot of them that were there, and I'm happy for them. Like I had no business being there. So like
that had its own. They had there's exact same situation where where there's a community day and content creators that didn't get invited are like, oh, why did such and such get to go? And
well, like that's the thing. Like I got to go to. Like I'm not even for WWE. I'm not like a big creator, and the reason I got to go to the Royal Rumble was because of the website that asked me to write about it, not because I was a 2K Next maker. And they then they did a community day, which I would have loved to have gone to, and like they got to go to NXT in Orlando, and they got to hang out with all the wrestlers there, record their gameplay and all that stuff, and like I'm happy for the people that went. It's not about me. I don't understand that, but
you're 100% not wrong. the same the 2K discourse is the same every year. Oh, why doesn't 2K do this? Why are VC prices so high? Why don't they make these changes? You buy the game every year. you spend $100 on the base game. You spend $200 per build. That they literally charge you to increase your attributes. That's why.
I did meet Stacks, who is one of the big 2K people involved with the game. I think he goes by Yo Stacks. I met him at.
I don't know you. I don't know Yo Stacks. I'm not that into it. I
gotcha.
I know Uncle Demi.
I met Uncle Demi.
I know you met Uncle Demi. I know, of course, the GOAT.
Awesome dude.
The GOAT Chris Smooth. I know Badge Plug, and I'm not familiar with Stacks, but yeah, wait, don't you get NBA 2K? Can't you get that for free?
Yeah, I've asked for it. I've asked for it every year. Like whenever the game comes out, there's a request room. You say, hey, can I get it for this console? And somebody DMs you a code.
Do you actually play it?
I play it for like a week or two, just offline, just enjoying it. I make myself on the Celtics, and I play and enjoy, and then like I feel guilty playing a video game and not like working, and then I forget. So
shit, send me one. I'll send me one. Send me a PS5 one. I'll make some content.
I'll see what I can do this time.
I'll do it.
Wait, is it out? Is it out yet?
It comes out in like a week or something.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. But like, I just like I'm not even like in the Next Maker Discord. Like here, that's another thing that happens a lot with 2K, and Lejeune can obviously he can attest to this. We're not really supposed to talk about the nitty-gritty of exactly. So like he can attest to this. We're really not supposed to talk about the nitty gritty, what happens behind the scenes, but like, I'm not a basketball creator, so I don't get any of that. Like, I'm not in that room.
Because you're not, you don't make.
I don't need to know any of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you don't. So you're not going to be at Community Day because you don't build videos or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like to slide in and play the game. You know, like
that's pretty much how I do it. Like I bought 2K23 on sale when it was like $20, and I just basically play GM. I don't even go online. I just play GM and manage the 76ers and get properly so they could actually win a championship.
I think I've started to understand how like the NBA 2K works because they're trying to turn WWE into that. They have like that type of stuff in WWE, so I understand it, and like I don't usually play that game of it anyway. I don't play it in Madden either, like my team or whatever.
My career, I actually used to be a competitive 2K player, but once I decided I wasn't going to make content anymore, and it was just expensive. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to. It's so toxic. It gets so toxic. I'm like, it's not.
Yeah, I would never play that game online.
Yeah, it's like I dabbled in 2K. Like I used to play consistently. I stopped playing in like after like what was it like 2K6? I stopped playing, and then I picked it back up with 2K8 when that came out. You know, they added highlight. Well, not highlights. They improved the highlights and all of that stuff.
Casual talking way back.
Yeah, I played consistently up until like 2K17, and then it's like dropped off. I got 2K22 with the bundle I got from my PS5, and I think I just traded that in. Yeah, I think I just traded that in to get Elden Ring.
Elden Ring, shout to Elden Ring. Hopefully, those devs can finally afford rice after the game of the year.
Lejeune just got in tune with it. You got to get in tune with it, Sadot. Lejeune went over there fighting for his life.
I'm waiting for Elden Ring to be free on PlayStation Plus. Then I'll.
It's funny that like bringing up Elden Ring made me think about Armored Core just launched. Okay?
Yeah, Fire. Oh yeah.
And here's a funny thing: like all these people are getting so mad about, oh, why wasn't I chosen? Why wasn't I chosen? For this and this and this. Those guys actually asked me to be in a promotional video for their game and talking about it, and they didn't even offer me a code.
Oh, they did?
I forgot all about it. Like I honestly like listening and reading some of the people that are playing it. I think I'm better off for it.
Oh, for sure.
But like, didn't even hit me up asking if I wanted a code.
It's definitely not your type of game. I'll say
that's the thing, though. It is because I've played other Armored Core games. I'm just not a FromSoft guy.
I saw that game. You would not like it.
I bet.
I watched some live streams. I watched Moxie playing it, and I'm like, oh, Jayshockblast would not like this.
Moxie's a good guy. I like Moxie.
I'm a fan of Moxie.
I met him at Redfall. He's a super nice guy.
I bet he seems like a nice guy. He's one of the few creators like I support creators that I know, but in terms of actual content creators that I don't know who I follow, he's one of the few that I'll actually pop into a stream or something and just check out what they're talking about.
We actually do. I think I'm 1 week behind, and
he is. Shame on you. All links are in the description.
I don't see any of the.
Well, they should be. Oh, I gotta update it, but apparently Nightbot is taking a nap right now because it's not. I don't think it's posting.
Oh, I meant the description. I was looking at the description.
Yeah, I gotta update that because I did it through StreamYard, so I gotta copy over all the information. But yeah, we're on Spotify, we are on Apple, we are on Amazon, we are pretty much everywhere.
I think Stitcher shut down.
Did it?
Yeah, so I think I got something like that they shut down.
Speaking of shut down, perfect segue into Volition. Did you hear?
Yeah.
I know you heard about that. The Embracer Group claims another body the Saints Row backlash continues. I just added it to the description.
I saw a few people
dancing on the grave.
No, I saw people actually doing the opposite, trying to like say, "Oh, you can't blame this on the last Saints Row game," and I'm like, "No, actually, you can.
You definitely can."
And it's not just that. Like the last game they put out was 5 years ago. Before that, and it was Agents of Mayhem, which was a great game. Also bombed. Okay,
Yeah.
I actually really liked Agents of Mayhem, but it absolutely bombed. Okay, so it's 2 back-to-back bomb games, and they've just tried to get by reskinning and repackaging all the other Saints Row games that were popular and reselling them on all the platforms. Like at some point that was going to wear off, and the new Saints Row game could have been great, but like nobody wanted to hear all that, you know.
And I think it was also bad timing because like it's normally pretty bad when a studio bombs consistently, but Embracer Group probably keeps Volition around if the timing wasn't different, because remember around the whole Saints Row reboot era, they just spent $300 million on the Square Enix acquisitions. And then at the time they had that $2 billion deal behind the scenes that they had closed. Okay. Well, they thought they closed, and but then Saints Row bombed, and then they were like, "Oh well, now we're going to have to wait for Crystal Dynamics stuff to materialize, because they're working on the Tomb Raider game, but who knows how long that's going to take." So in the meantime, they made some money off of Amazon by pawning it off on them, but all the other acquisitions they got for Square haven't made a profit yet, haven't done anything yet. So they're just like, "Oh well, we need our other games to do well." And then when that $2 billion deal collapsed, that suddenly completely changed their entire financial outlook. And because they probably were thinking, okay, like because initially when Saints Row bombed, they were like trying to dance around it, and like they moved some of Volition's people off to Gearbox, but they didn't fully shut the studio down. But then after that $2 billion, because they thought they still had that money coming in, that $2 billion, but as soon as that fell apart, and then we found out it was from that Saudi Arabia group instead, not Disney. So once that deal collapsed, then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh shit, we don't have any money coming in."
I think we're actually in the process of like fully folding Volition into Gearbox. Yeah, like they were shifting them from Deep Silver to Gearbox, like entirely.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing initially, and then they just announced like they're actually just completely shutting it down now. And they canceled some other projects, but that was just a ripple effect from that $2 billion deal falling apart. In addition to the fact that Dead Island 2 did well, but it wasn't a massive hit.
It's wild. I have in my Facebook memories today that I went to PAX East 2000, PAX West 2014. And I have pictures of people playing Dead Island 2 in 2014.
But it is a good game. That the wait was worth it, but it didn't end up being a Baldur's Gate 3 level success.
Dude, so I just got my code for Baldur's Gate 3 for PlayStation 5. I did not realize that it came out so far after the PC version. I got a code for PC, and I was like, I don't really want to play this on PC. So I hit him up. I'm like, hey, I had requested PlayStation. She's like, oh, we don't have those codes yet. You could just keep this PC one for now if you'd like, or you could just give it to someone. So I gave it to Hyruler, and I've kind of regretted it. I don't like creating content on PC.
Yeah, isn't it turn-based?
I think so. Yeah, but I like turn-based.
I hate turn-based, but everything I've seen, like the story, everything looks great out here. It's like if you're into that sort of thing, it's pretty amazing. But I'm not angry at Jayshockblast for getting a code instead of me for Baldur's Gate 3. I probably wouldn't be.
I'm angry at Hyrule for getting an opportunity instead of me. I have to fight him.
Yeah, I don't think I could cover it on YouTube anyway. There's apparently a lot of nudity in that game. You might have to turn it off. I don't know if there's a filter or not, but there's definitely quite a bit of nudity. Oh, there
September 1st, 2014. Dead Island 2.
Did you get a code for that?
No.
There, suck it, Jay. I got one.
Yeah.
I'm actually in their career program. That's why I got it. But,
yeah. But there's also it wasn't just that the game was playable there. Like they advertised it super heavy. Like when you walked in the building, there was like a massive setup for it. I'm looking for that now and I'll present it. So like that game was in like development hell, and they ended up like just basically completely changing it. I think you'll know when you look at this this image since you played it. I did play it at PAX East, but like they had this huge banner, like, and I don't think any of those people are in the game now.
I don't recognize any of them.
Yeah, like this guy is like a preacher, it looks like, and yeah, they had like banners everywhere. So yeah.
Yeah.
That was the one year I went to Seattle. I was like, there's the only year I didn't go to PAX East, and I was like, I really want to go. And then my buddy Wally was going up to PAX Prime and doing some stuff up there. I'm like, you know what? I wanna do that. So I went out there. We linked up with him and his buddy Taylor, who now works at Elgato. And we went to a Mariners game, I think with Darkness 429. Huge streamer. So, yeah.
Don't know it is. But speaking of flexes from Jayshockblast, he's been sitting on some secret information these past couple of weeks.
Oh God!
And now he is finally allowed to spill all the tea. So start talking, Jay. Tell us about Starfield, which is now up on early access. It's currently sitting at an 88 on Metascore and has sparked yet another dumb console war on Twitter.
Listen, that's an Xbox 10. All right. So yeah, Starfield is like the way I've been describing it is if you've played Fallout, if you've played Elder Scrolls, it's going to feel familiar, and it's just in space. Like Bethesda is not going to reinvent the wheel here as far as the way their games work. Like the story, the missions, the dialogue, the way everything works, the way everything feels, it's going to feel like you're playing Fallout in space. And that's not a bad thing. That's a great thing. And it's so smooth. There are very, very, very few complaints I have had so far. The only ones really being some of the space combat is a little clunky. And the like the traveling, I feel like I'm in the menus too much. Like they didn't make it like so that like travel was convenient, but I think there's an immersion there, and that's part of the reason why. It's just I do wish it was a little more user friendly. You have to learn a lot of things through trial and error, but once you get there, it's just freaking awesome. Like I streamed it for 6 hours, and I don't do 6-hour streams
because he can't. He literally can't. He has to pee all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, I got up a time or two, or three, and peed. But like, you should obviously get up and walk around every so often anyway. But like,
for sure,
I'm not into doing sessions that long, and I just couldn't stop. And I basically restarted my game because one of the requirements for streaming on day one, or during the 8 hours of early access we could stream, was you had to start from the beginning. And I just felt like rather than post gameplay videos, people are going to want to talk about it. People are going to want to experience it and be there. So I streamed it, and I
was there.
I loved it. I love it. I just can't wait to get back to playing some more. Now that it's out and everybody has it, it's a little tougher to fight for the views and whatnot, but that's fine. Like, I'm just happy playing it. I'm happy creating content for it. I'm gonna ride it until I can't, and apparently I've got got to start some Baldur's Gate, play that a little bit.
Yeah, I was watching a lot of Starfield playthroughs, and because I was curious about the game, and I was like, oh, this, like, just hearing about it and seeing the Imagine Dragon music video, I'm like, oh, this looks cool. Maybe this is something that'll make me finally get an Xbox. And I watched a lot of people play it. I watched people who loved it. I watched people who hated it, and I just watched a lot of the gameplay, and I'm just like, not for, not really something that makes me want to just run out there, because it doesn't feel like it lived up to what was pitched. It didn't seem like this. I was thinking of like No Man's Sky on steroids, and it's not.
I haven't gotten to that part yet where you can like start building your own areas and whatnot. I understand why you feel that way. I get lost in like all the stuff you can do. Like, you could just be walking around and overhear somebody like talk about something, and you now have a quest you can do.
Yeah, I was looking at it. It was a lot of stuff. Because it feels like there's a lot of stuff to do, but not a lot of interesting stuff is happening. I saw there was like there was a part where you can like get a job as a part-time security, and you take the job, and it's basically send you on a fetch quest to the train, and then but if you stop and have a conversation with this woman who's cleaning, you find out like she's got her whole backstory. She's trying to save up money, and you can go get her a coffee. That becomes another quest. So it's like, okay, it's a lot of that immersion, and you can shoot people, and and they'll and the security will come after you. But it just felt like the NPCs are like really dumb, like really poorly handled, and it's like there's like a lot of it that looks like the immersion just isn't quite there yet, especially since you can't just get in your ship and like go like that. That's what like blew me away when I first played No Man's Sky. Like when I first popped in and walked on the ship and took off and flew through the atmosphere, and the actual atmosphere cleared, and I was in space, and then I hyperdrive to another system and saw a planet, and I flew to the planet, approached it, and broke through its atmosphere. Like that whole experience, that seamless experience, is absolutely incredible, especially in the first person POV. And I felt like there weren't that moments. It's not really that in Starfield. It's like it's a lot of just kind of walking around and and doing stuff, and like there's some cool photo moments to be had when you get to those plans, but there's no vehicles to fly around, to run around on these. It just feels like it almost feels like it's not done, and they're kind of just like, well, the modders are going to carry this, so it's fine.
Well, and I don't, it's not unfair what you're saying. I do think that, like, from what I understand, once you get in past a certain area, it really does start to capture you and grab you. And I don't know how far in that you've watched or anything. So, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, I think you watched me basically just do a bunch of fetch quests because I was trying to get XP early and trying to get like my lock pick up. I was trying to get my like my weight up so I could carry more. There are definitely some things that make it a little bit of a struggle. Like, obviously, I go into this base and I wipe out all these people. I want to pick up every single one of their guns and suits and everything so I can sell them. But then obviously I'm over encumbered. Yep. So like you run into the oxygen issue, where when you run out of oxygen, and then the CO2 starts coming in and you can damage yourself. So like, yeah, there's like a lot of balance things there. And I do agree that there's a lost opportunity there with actually taking off and going into space. Like there's none of that. I think actually for an Xbox Series X game, the load times are a little long.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's just it's like I say it's a meme to talk about No Man's Sky, but I mean No Man's Sky is a PS4 game and it's multiplayer. You know, it was on Xbox One, and it just felt like if we're going to make this I felt like when it fair or not, when you say that your game is current gen exclusive, that comes with it a set of expectations. Know, you're cutting off a portion of of your potential player base, and you're saying we're doing that because we got to give you the best possible experience, and then you see it, and I'm like, this feels like it could have been the Xbox One.
But
like,
that's
this doesn't, just looking at it, I'm like, this doesn't look like it had to be current gen exclusive.
That's one thing I will say though, is that like, you know, Bethesda also, the meme is with them, you know, Bugthesda, you know, like
didn't see many. Didn't see a lot.
It's honestly very, very, very seamless. Like it's very smooth. I haven't run into any issues, like actual issues of things not working. The only issues I run into are, you know, I wish there was like a better mini map. Like I wish there was a mini map of the area you're in that you could look at, because sometimes I get crossed up and I'm like, I'm looking for the, you know, trade authority because they'll buy the stuff I just stole. And, you know, I don't remember where they are, or I'm on, like, I just landed on a new planet that's kind of part of like the cowboy storyline. And when I invaded this base of thugs, they had like stuff that, like, if you tried to launch into one of these sectors, you would get arrested because it's like illegal essentially, you know. And I was trying to I googled real quick, who can I sell this to, because it was worth like 11,000 space bucks, and
a lot of space bucks.
And the trade authority would buy it. So I'm like, well, where's the trade authority in this town? Is there one? Like, I was gonna have to go leave it somewhere, which is actually kind of cool too. Like, any changes you make in the game, like if you run into a wall and knock stuff off a shelf, it'll always off the shelf. Like,
it'll remember that. I also heard that there's like, because there's Earth in this, but it's like kind of a wasteland, but they have some landmarks that are still there that you can see. But I heard that you can't actually see them if you go to the planet unless you do a specific story mission to actually see them.
That makes sense.
Like if you're flying around and you won't see them at all, but if you do the story mission, it unlocks them. I don't like that at all. Like that feels weird to me. Like that another part of the immersion thing is like these are supposed to be fully explorable planets. Like it feels like it should be part of the immersion is like you find these landmarks and like that triggers a quest line or something like that. It feels unrealistic if like the stuff literally is just invisible until you unlock.
Maybe the reason why that's the case is part of that mission. I don't know.
Well, it's magic.
Listen, I have not disputed any of your points. I feel like there's a lot of fair points to make. I do think though, like, you know, people keep asking me. I'm like, I think it's somewhere between an 8 and a 9. I don't know where. You know, it's definitely got some issues, and it's definitely not going to be for everyone. But I feel like if you've ever played a Fallout game and you love Fallout games, like especially after Fallout 76, this is going to be like a huge game for you. You know, like Fallout 76, I wanted to love it, I really did, but the lack of NPCs killed it for me. That was really a rough decision.
I feel like Starfield, I'm just looking at it, I feel like Starfield is probably like a 7 on console and like 8.5 on PC, with the potential of being a 10 once all the modders get their hands on it. Casual had to dip out real quick to get some deep dish, but
gotcha.
We'll keep it going. But I feel like PC is the place that you're going to want to play Starfield, because not only you're gonna get those mods, but you can also play it at 60 FPS.
But they did mods on console too.
You can get all the same mods on Xbox?
Yeah. I literally I think I tweeted it yesterday or today, but like in my like memories on Facebook was me as Deadpool in Fallout 4. See if I can find it real quick. Oh yeah, there it is.
Oh, it's cool. Too bad Xbox doesn't have Spider-Man.
It might have. I just obviously love Deadpool, so bring that over here. And
yeah, PC will have the advantage in terms of performance if you need that 60 FPS. But I feel like mods are going to what really put Starfield over the top. People are going to be able to mod all the stuff that a lot of the stuff that people have issues with.
There it is. That was
Deadpool. That's actually really good Deadpool.
Yeah, I think they pulled it right out of the Deadpool game. But then I have my my Jayshockblast neon on the building right there. But there was like a ton of mods, and it was definitely all on it was all on Xbox too, and I'm assuming PlayStation.
PlayStation, you can't get mods.
Oh, you can't?
No, you cannot.
I gotcha. Well, you could on Xbox. So, and that was obviously well before the purchase. So,
if I could get mods on my PS5, I would be playing Spider-Man Remastered all the time. I'd be making a lot.
No, the mods were like baked into the game.
Oh no, I'm talking about like the mods that fans create.
Yeah. But like that's the thing though, like they actually built in mods into the actual game. So like there was a whole section of mods on the Xbox that you would go through and you could just download. And
I don't know if Starfield is doing that, because usually with games it's like the fans created and then you have to download it separately to your PC.
Yeah, no, it was like on Fallout. It was the same thing. The fans create it, they upload it through the PC version of the game, and like that stuff is available to you on Fallout 4.
Do you know if they did that for Starfield as well?
Not yet.
Built into Starfield. Well, they definitely should.
Yeah, I feel like if they could do it 7 years ago in Fallout 4, they should be able to do it in Starfield. I think it happens in Elder Scrolls in Skyrim too.
Yeah, Skyrim is very famous for its mods. It's at this point like a completely different game from
yeah. So here it is, TP24. Fallout 4 and Skyrim has mods on PlayStation. So yeah, you can download them. Like obviously there are some mods that are going to possibly crash your game, you know.
Of course.
But like, you know, it's a memory issue. But you know, I already saw somebody tweet about it.
I never played Fallout on PlayStation. I just know just in general for a fact that you can't access mods on console. Like there are games where they'll like have like for like WWE for instance, they have you can download, you know, the custom, you know, characters. Like we had Jayshockblast do those Royal Rumbles with the anime characters. Like, you know, some games will build in stuff where you can like do, you know, crazy, you know, customization. You know, NBA 2K has like a much scaled down version of that where you can create your own like kind of rec team, and you can design your own logos, but people also design logos and arenas and stuff. You can download them, and or for a roster update, if you want to have the current roster for the current NBA year, you can customize it yourself, save it, and share it, and you can just go on. There's a menu where you can download other people's stuff that you could upload. So there are games that will build features in like that, but it has to be built into the actual game, because generally consoles don't have that access because these mods are built for PC. So if it doesn't have that capability built in, that you can't you have no way of downloading those mods. So
yeah, and Fallout and Skyrim were like two of the rare games where they built it in and baked it in. So, and yeah, WWE is a good point too. Like people are somehow, I think there's a tool they use on PC, and they basically, once it's imported in, it's there, and some of those mods are freaking ridiculous. Like there are people that make wrestlers in that game that look better than the ones they make in game.
Yeah, it could be crazy, but in general, it'd be really cool if it was just something that's generally accessible. It would definitely.
Oh, trust me, like
it would add a lot. It would add a lot of replay value to a lot of games.
Yeah, but I did do mods in Spider-Man, and it's like, from what I understand, it's evolved. Like,
it's great. It's great. I have a whole playlist now, and I'll often react to them on stream or just have them playing. And the mods have gotten so sophisticated in Spider-Man Remastered. It literally looks like indistinguishable from Spider-Man 2 at times.
It's not even that though. It's like the actual getting the mod into the game. Like it used to be like a whole process, but now my buddy Superior Chris said that it's way easier. I just haven't gone back to it.
Everything's gotten streamlined, but the stuff they come up with, because usually the old Spider-Man PC mods are like, oh, look at Kratos, you got My Hero Academia, or you got Deadpool swinging around the city. But now I see, it is Spid. He's legitimately added an entire new customizable suit menu into the game.
Yeah,
and he's got the actual Spider-Man 2 UI with a functioning ability and gadget wheel from the game, with the symbiote, with the Spider-Man can go with the iron arms. He even added the white design to the iron arms, new combos, and you can seamlessly switch between the red suit and the symbiote suit. It's like the stuff you could do on mods now is absolutely crazy. And they even added web wings and improved swinging and new web swinging animations. It's I would love to do that, but I don't have a PC, and I'm not trying to buy a gaming PC and deal with that nonsense. But if it was accessible on console, I would definitely be making some of that Spider-Man modded content, because it looks, and just playing it because it looks a lot of fun, and it gives you another reason to play those games to experience.
It's crazy though too, because your channel is so supercharged for Spider-Man content. Like you could literally throw up a 10-minute swinging around video of a different custom every day, and just cha-ching.
Yeah,
probably pay off the gaming PC that way
eventually. but I don't know, gaming PCs are crazy expensive these days.
You don't even want to know what I spent on mine.
I'm sure it was a couple invoices.
I spent $5,000 on mine.
Sheesh. Yeah, no thank you.
but part of that was a $600 3-year warranty, which has paid for itself 3 times over, because my hard drive is crashed 3 times.
Yeah, that does not make me want to get one.
Yeah, that's why I went. So I'm lucky I have a Micro Center nearby, and they're great. I've got a 3080. I've got a ridiculous I don't even remember some of the stuff. I got 64 gigs of RAM, which everybody's like, oh my god, that's overkill. I'm like, yeah, well, I wanted double that too, but I wanted to get the best I could get at the time and have it be future proof for a few years and not have to deal with it, So
yeah, makes sense. Now, Mr. Shockblast, have you seen episode 3 of Ahsoka?
Yes.
Okay. So we all watched it. So I had this idea in my head where I was going to try to binge watch Rebels, but I was watching some other stuff. So I realized, I'm not going to make it through all 4 seasons. So I'm going to just watch what I can and then go back. And as I've gotten through Rebels, I'm I've seen some stuff in Ahsoka. I'm like, oh, okay, so that was an Easter egg to this. That was a member berry for this. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, the first episode still pretty not great, but I thought the third episode was better, but definitely had still had a lot of problems. But
yeah, I thought that was what you were going to say, to be honest with you, and I see it.
Yeah, and but it actually had the funniest thing from Ahsoka is actually we finally got the ratings, and this is actually hilarious. So Disney, in a very rare occurrence, came out and said, "Hey, the first season of Ahsoka, the first episode of Ahsoka, got 14 million views worldwide." Now, if that number were actually accurate, it's not, but we'll get into why. But if that number was actually accurate, that would mean the first episode of Ahsoka was more viewed than the first episode of Obi-Wan, the Boba Fett, every season of The Mandalorian, Loki, Miss Marvel, and Secret Invasion combined. If that number were accurate. It's not.
I was gonna say I can buy the Ahsoka is really popular. Like Ashley Eckstein is the voice of Ahsoka, and we went to Rhode Island Comic-Con, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, and she was there sitting next to William Shatner. Her line was like 3 times longer than Shatner's, and I waited in it for an hour and didn't even make a dent, so I gave up.
Makes sense. But it did not translate to the show because according to
Jeff Grubb?
No, not close, but there was a more independent source, not Disney themselves, an independent source, Samba TV. They're a tech firm that measures TV viewerships, and they're usually pretty reliable. According to them, the number is actually 1.2 million, which actually makes a lot more sense. And it should be noted that Disney is currently being sued for a second time for allegedly misleading and defrauding investors when it comes to their streaming numbers. So they've been allegedly cooking the books and manipulating things to make it seem like they're not losing money when they are, to try to trick the investors into thinking their platform is doing better than it is. So keep that in mind when you see that 14 million first episode number.
Well, that is quite the difference.
Yeah, that's quite a distinction. 14 million versus 1.2. So 1.2 million would put it above Secret Invasion's 900K and below, I think it's a little bit below I think Mandalorian season. I think Obi-Wan was 2.7. Book of Boba Fett, I think, was 1.7. So this is not great, but the show itself, again, my issue is still the writing. Like fortunately the acting was a little better in this episode. The characters actually changed their facial expressions a couple of times, so that was a refreshing change of pace. But some of the editing still has a lot of issues. Like they were like the opening scene where Ahsoka is training so Sabine is like felt like it was going on forever. It was getting ridiculous. What are you cooking up right now?
Dude, this guy, like, these people are still freaking arguing.
It's still Twitter. Jesus Christ.
Dude, like, I don't care. Now he's trying to say wasted my time being civil. Bro, you were toxic as shit. And you started it. Like, what is this?
Just block him, Jay. What's up, Devashan? But yeah, like did you notice the part in in episode 1 where Ahsoka does a forced teleportation, like that bit. So Sabine, obviously, they're trying to make her a Jedi, which please don't. She was, I like her so much. She's so much better in Rebels, but so she's
as a Mandalorian.
Yes, but she's obviously terrible, as David Tennant keeps pointing out, best character in the show right now, and and she's they're doing the little callback to A New Hope where she's training with the blindfold on, and Ahsoka's basically saying, okay, you'll use the Force to see where I am with the blindfold on, and I'm going to tap you with the stick. And of course she's bad at it because she does not have the Force. That's why she's bad at it.
And she suddenly does at some point.
Yeah, because it sounds like they're setting up this retcon of how the Force works, because the way it's supposed to work, and even pointed out during their conversation, the Force is in all things, but as Ahsoka weirdly kept telling her to try to prove that no, actually you can use the Force. Like, no, that's not how it works. If that's how the Force worked, everyone would be using the Force. But just because the Force exists in everything doesn't mean you can use it. Like, we're like 65% water. Doesn't mean I'm a fucking waterbender. Like, that's not, like, if I just work hard at it, that's not how it works. Like, you have to have an aptitude for the Force in order to use it. And as it's been pointed out, Sabine has none. She makes basically, and it's the fight, despite that Ahsoka is still telling her, no, you just got to believe, And so she's walking around and she's basically like, listen to my voice, use your senses, and point where I am in the room. So she's like, she stands next to the robot and like, where am I? She's like, oh, you're next to the robot. And they show her next to the robot. And then she's like, are you sure? And then all of a sudden they do a cut and she's on the other side of the room. I'm like, what the hell? Did you just teleport? Like, no, you were literally just there. And then you just did a cut to make her on the other side of that. No, that's not how it works. Like what is this? But the worst part of the episode was definitely the space battle. Like there's a lot of stuff you can nitpick, but I think the most egregious was the space battle where they get black. First of all, I'm still in the first season of Rebels, but she's a Mandalorian. Mandalorians are really good at fighting, specifically really good at shooting and aiming. Why is Sabine? Did I miss something in Rebels in later seasons? Why is Sabine bad at shooting? Like, it was. That wasn't a thing. That wasn't a thing in the episodes of Rebels I saw. She's all of a sudden she's in a space battle and she doesn't know what the hell she's doing.
I think it's she said something about like, oh, you don't like, it doesn't have my settings locked in or something. Like, she, I think, addresses it at some point.
Yeah, she literally says it doesn't have my settings, and then she just immediately puts them back on. Like, that doesn't mean anything. It's like she doesn't know how to shoot.
I think it's like a calibration issue. I don't know.
She's a Mandalorian.
I mean, Mando is not really that great of a fighter. I mean, like, half the time he's like gets by just because he has his Beskar armor and everybody shoots just the plot armor.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because literally plot. They have to make everything more dramatic. So they have to make him, forget how to fight. But she completely forgot how to fight. But the worst part is that their ship gets blasted. So they're at a point where the robot's down. The ship is done. It has no fire. It's just floating there in space. They're a sitting target. And Ahsoka's big plan is like, okay, Sabine, you fix the ship. I'm going to change into a fully customizable spacesuit in literally 10 seconds and run out on the wing of the fucking ship with my lightsabers and fight 3 starships at the same time.
I mean, and it's a very Star Wars thing.
It's a very stupid thing, Jay. All they literally had to do was like, oh, they're out of power. Ahsoka's standing on the wing. let's just shoot it out of the sky.
Yeah.
Instead, they fly right to her and only shoot at her and end up flying close enough for her to take out one of the ships with her lightsaber. I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Like, why would you do that?
I mean, for the same reason, like every stormtrooper misses. The same reason that in Green Arrow, every bad guy shoots at him nonstop.
Like it's one thing for bad guys to have bad aim. It's another thing to literally have them dead to rights. It's like, oh, they have no power, they have no defenses. It's literally just your 3 ships and 1 Jedi standing on the wing of a spaceship. All you have to do is destroy the ship, and you win. That's all you had to do. Just destroy the ship. They didn't even try to destroy the ship. They tried to fight Ahsoka 1v1 with a spaceship and lost. What is
it's definitely, you have to what's the expression? You have to I don't know. I
shut your brain off and slam your face against the wall until you can't feel anything.
A little bit.
Thank God those space whales were able to hide them. Which was probably the coolest part of the episode.
Yeah.
just the whales, just because the whales look cool. But that space fight was one of the worst I've ever seen in any media.
I don't know. Ahsoka looked graceful doing her little flippy flips.
She looked graceful, but the scene was stupid. I also love how she has a custom suit that.
Well, what do you think she's gonna have? It's her ship. When you go shopping for do-rags, do you pick one that doesn't fit your head?
It looked very cute. I was just surprised that she had, not only did she have that lying around, but she was able to change it to that so quickly. right before they got blown out of the sky.
It's her ship. It's like her house. Like, of course she has her, of all the things you want to pick on, I think that's the least egregious.
I'm not picking on the fact that she had it. I just looked funny to see her. But it was hilarious how fast she was able to change into that thing.
I mean, to be fair, they probably elapsed the time a little bit. It takes a long time to turn those planes around.
Yeah. Apparently, those slow planes that can't shoot.
She used the Force.
She force changed. I mean, she could. I mean, they showed her teleport earlier in the episode, so why not also be able to force change?
Excuse me. Yeah, we talked about Starfield a little bit.
Yeah, Jay basically earned his money talking about Starfield.
I mean, you basically said good things about it, and I'm sure that hurt you.
Not at all. I'm not invested in the whole console war. I wanted Starfield to be a great game. I wanted Starfield to be so good that I was like, you know what, Jay, I'm gonna buy an Xbox.
Huh?
And instead I was like, maybe I'll get a Samsung gaming hub one day. I'm not in a rush.
Well, it's going to be out there for a while, and I feel like we're at a point where a lot of these games are a lot of these things that they've been working on are going to start paying off, because they definitely went through a dry spell. There's no two ways around that. And there's been a lot of promising stuff that they've shown, but it just hasn't come out yet, and we're getting to that point where the payoff is coming.
I hope so. At this point, the only Xbox game that I'm kind of looking forward to is State of Decay. The new State of Decay.
You're looking forward to Fable.
I was until I saw the trailer. Now I'm not sure.
No, you're looking forward to it, because that trailer is not going to be like a totally accurate depiction. That was just a small teaser trailer. It was all like cinematics.
Listen, Jay. We're already in a situation where Fable is trying to recover from a not so great previous game, and I've been hearing a lot of stuff about the new Fable being in development hell. that's never a good sign. And then their first impression teaser trailer didn't fill me with any confidence. So I've basically kind of just written Fable off entirely, and I'm just now pinning my hopes on getting an Xbox to State of Decay, and hoping that one comes through, because until they got to show me something really, really impressive in order to get me, because Fable 2 is the only game that can compete in my eyes with Ghost of Tsushima in terms of how much I played it and how much I enjoyed it. Is a small list. It's Fable 2 and Grand Theft Auto 3. that's pretty much it. Like those are my some of my peak gaming experiences. And if they had just done Fable 2 but on current gen, I would have been fine with that. I would have been fine with that too. Like, I hear that Square Enix is doing a remake of Final Fantasy X finally. And if they update that game with not just the graphics but the combat and take away the turn base, oh, you best believe I'm getting that one. I might even get it with the turn base, because that's another of one of my favorite games of all time. But nothing I've seen, unfortunately, for Xbox has made me go, "Ooh, I need Xbox." It was literally like a toss up for me at first. Like, when I was like looking at the next gen, I'm like, okay, PS5, Xbox Series X. All right, what we got? What we looking forward to? I looked at what PlayStation had on the horizon. I saw Miles Morales. I was like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, and I know they're going to have God of War and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, what you got Xbox? And Xbox had Forza. So I was like, I'm not, no, thank you.
Yeah, I like playing my games on Xbox, but like, if you can't have both, then I understand why people went for the PlayStation 5.
And the thing is that kills me about is that I hear Xbox is like, is in terms of an actual system, is great for the most part, and Game Pass is a great deal. But I'm at the end of the day, I'm a game guy. I want to, if I buy when I buy a system, I'm investing in the games that I'm going to be playing on that system, and I'm looking at the games that I don't want to miss. So
Yeah.
when I'm in a position where I can get both, like maybe I'll go, or like at this point it kind of just feels better to just kind of just go with Game Pass, just get Game Pass and get a gaming hub TV, just call it a day.
I think as a content creator, one of the things that drives me nuts about PlayStation and why I have always struggled with it is because like Xbox just does everything that like we need, right? Like, I don't have to worry about my game save ever. Like, remember Avengers when you had to like transfer your game save, and some people got the digital version and like didn't have, like, they couldn't put their disc in, like those types of things. Like, so like there's just little things like that. Like my game save,
but you guys can save scum now.
Yeah, I could like literally go to any Xbox in the world and like pick up exactly where I was in my game, no matter what,
But you couldn't save scum for gear.
Well, I mean, okay, so tough,
Suck it.
But like, plugging in a headset doesn't mute the HDMI out.
Yeah, like, that's annoying as fuck.
That's like, that's a streamer thing. Like, most people aren't going to even like understand like why that's an issue. But like,
but if you're it is infuriating.
Yeah, it really is. And there are workarounds, but they suck and they're annoying.
And it shouldn't be necessary. Yeah,
it literally makes no sense. Like, and it's not even just like a PS5 thing. It was a PS4 thing too. So like, those are just two examples off the top of my head. That there are a bunch of little things like that just irk me about like PlayStation.
But unfortunately, I can't play Spider-Man 2 on Xbox.
I get that.
So
and that's why I just don't I don't use a headset on. I've got it configured so that like I can hear all the game audio through OBS. So like when I wear a headset, I'm hearing the audio through my computer, not the PlayStation. So
now you know what I might do is I might get an Xbox for some of like the cross-platform multiplayer games. So I can have that experience without dealing with the bullshit with the headset.
Yeah.
Unless the new Pulse addresses that, the new Pulse headsets address that. If they do that, then problem solved. But if not, then I can see myself playing like Suicide Squad, Justice League if that ever comes out on Xbox, just so I can play multiplayer and have the headset and not have to worry about anything else.
Yeah, and like that's just the little things, like I'm at a point where I prefer I'll tell you one thing that I do love about PlayStation though, the Platinum Trophy. Like I don't understand how Xbox hasn't done something like that yet. There used to be a badge on Xbox 360 where if you got 100%, you got like a little badge for the game, and that went away. But like that's like one of the few things I do like about the PlayStation. But like I don't know, just my everyday cross-platform games that are, I would rather just play it on Xbox. Like although Immortals of Avium, they for some reason sent me the code on PS5, so I've been playing that on PS5.
But yeah, that game is like I felt like cross-platform. It makes sense. It makes sense for multiplayer games.
Yeah.
For Xbox, if you want to go that route. But yeah, for me, those exclusives, it's like single player, especially single player exclusives or cross-platform single player. I'm like, gotta go to PS5 because I'm not going to be playing with anybody else anyway. So
to each their own. I just feel like I do agree. Like I feel like I get put on the defensive because I like Xbox, and like people don't understand that. And my favorite one is, why don't you just get a PC? Because I don't want to play on PC. I want to play with a controller on my console the way video games were supposed to be.
Damn right. Finally, Jay Spid. I think it's also just the fact that we're just in a time where people just don't want to hear any nuanced opinions on stuff they care about, because if you just for the fact that you like Xbox and play it and play it a lot, then they're like, oh well, I guess you're a PlayStation hater. And you can't just, even though you literally have both, it can't just be that. It has to be, oh, you're just a hater, you're just a shill, you're an Xbox, and they just can't accept that. That's how they are in their own lives, which is weird. Like even though I'm playing PlayStation and I don't have a Series S or X, I it's not because I hate Xbox. I used to have a 360. One of my favorite games of all time is Fable 2. It's just that I like myself the exclusives. So and that's what's working for me.
One of my favorite things I've ever done was throwing my PlayStation 3 in my recycling bin. When that thing finally kicked it, like I just threw it right in the recycling bin. I hated that console. I hated it so much.
There you go. Jayshockblast, hater confirmed.
Yeah, like I hated everything about it. I really did. I hated that stupid crossblade. The UI was fucking awful. Like I hated that console. I had to run like an HDMI out into a splitter just to record off of it. Like, and the splitter basically stripped the HDCP and then sent it back out through a different HDMI. It was the stupidest crap. Again, all stuff that like a streamer, unless you're a streamer, you wouldn't understand. But like,
or care.
Yeah, exactly. But like you couldn't even record off a PS3 unless you had an HDCP stripper. It was just so stupid.
But now you can stream directly off of your PS5.
Yeah.
That's how I actually started Avengers. Well, I
literally said it was a personal problem.
I was making Avengers videos, and I was like, you know what? Instead of trying to build up a YouTube just to send people to Twitch, why don't YouTube has streaming here? I'll just stream here. So I stream directly off of my PS5 for a few weeks until I got a capture card and everything like that. But it's a very ghetto way to stream, but it gets the job done. It's definitely much better than it was in the past. It's easy, but you lose all the bells and the whistles.
You would not believe the setup I had going at one point when Xbox One and PS4 came out. I had
hammer and chisel.
Dude, I had like a splitter, and this is before. Like, I'm embarrassed now that I didn't think of like reversing some things, but I had 4 of the original Elgato capture cards. Okay, and I had all 4 consoles going into each one, going into a HDMI splitter, and that I would just like switch the channels on each one, and it made no sense. I should have just had everything go into the splitter, regular HDMI, and then out of the splitter into the capture card. But like,
skill
still,
issue.
Yeah, that was a skill issue. I overthought that one. But like, I had 4 cards running, and obviously the PS3 had to run through that stupid HDCP stripper. So like, I had like just adapters and cables everywhere.
Yeah, I had no desire to make content in those days. So the most fuss I had to make when it came to like a console was when I was playing those old Dragon Ball Z games that used to be out in, like, they weren't officially released in Japan. I mean, in America, but you can get the Japanese versions. But in order to play them, you had to get what's, I think, was called an action replay. So you basically had to rig up. So you basically had to rig up your PlayStation so that it can translate the Japanese games. so
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah. So I actually got that, and I went through the whole trouble of setting it up so I could play some of those Dragon Ball Z games that never got official releases in America. Like it was Dragon Ball GT and Dragon Ball Z Legends were the ones I was playing. We had a ton of fun with that. Like my friend, me and my best friend at the time, he was a Dragon Ball Z fanatic. So he was so into it. Like he actually cried like real tears when his stepdad wouldn't let him come over and play. wouldn't let him play because I was literally the only kid in town, like literally the only kid in town that had these games and the action replay. So if you were a Dragon Ball Z fan and you were trying to get those,
you came to Sadot's
Japanese
house.
games, you had to come through Sadot. You had to come through Sadot. I was the plug for the Japanese Dragon Ball Z games. I was a man in those Dragon Ball Z circles. Pretty small at the time, but still, it was fun. But I had no desire to be a content creator. I didn't even know that was a thing. I don't even think I even used YouTube until after college. Like, that's how detached I was from that whole thing. Like, the closest I came to like thinking about a career in gaming was G4 TV at the time when G4 was actually good and was popular. Like, I would watch like all their shows like Judgment Day, Cinema Tech, and I'm like, oh wow, you can actually make a career by talking about video games. Like, I guess I planted a seed because I was looking at it in disbelief. Like, what? There's an actual television network just for gamers. that's a job you could have.
I miss G4, man. They used to have like
they were
those
amazing.
live streams of E3. Like, you could literally watch E3 from there. Like,
it was the best. I watched all the E3 stuff.
Yeah.
And remember back when they had booth babes? That was a whole thing. They can't do that anymore.
I've got some interesting pictures from PAX's past that some like Duke Nukem booth babes.
Oh
and
boy.
There was this chainsaw
lollipop chainsaw.
Yeah, like that. The girl that was like they based the character on like was dressed up at PAX East as her, and I think that was like a big controversy because I think they like kicked her out, and Yeah, I have pictures of that. Oh,
I bet you do.
Yeah, let's see if I pass.
Don't let your wife see.
She doesn't care. Hold on. It's on like an external hard drive that always has to like kick in.
I bet I bet you got a lot of things on that external hard drive that shouldn't see the light of day. You if you even suggest that having booth babes, like that'll get you canceled on Twitter these days. Like that's definitely a thing that's not coming back anytime soon. And not even just because everything's going digital. but it was awesome back in the day. I love
Jessica Nigri was her name.
Oh, she was great. Hold
on, here it is right here.
Is it Nigri or Nidri?
I don't know.
I think it was Nidri because I remember she did collabs with Philip DeFranco as well. Yeah, she was a huge cosplayer back in the day.
Yeah, so like there she was dressed up.
Yeah, she was a massive cosplayer. Yeah, she definitely awakened a lot of young gamers with her cosplays back in the day.
I might have I don't know if this is the Duke Nukem year.
Yeah, this is the glory days of gaming. G4 TV was on top.
Shh.
I hate the Star Wars prequels. Yeah. People would go into person. Yeah, it was a big thing. Like it was. Yeah, like I never got to go to the E3s or anything, but just watching them on G4 is how I got like an appreciation.
Oh, that Sleeping Dogs. That game is so good.
Oh my god, Devil May Cry.
Yeah, this is there you go. There's some Capcom booth babes.
Look at Jayshockblast.
Dungeons and Dragons.
This was a classic time. I used to watch G4 like all the time, like literally like almost the majority. If I wasn't watching cartoons, I was watching G4.
The Witcher 2.
Holy.
Yeah. They had this is a good year. Spec Ops: The Line. That was like a big deal back then. Max Payne 3. Oh, Borderlands 2.
The glory days.
Or is this is 3, I think, actually. No, this is 2. This is 2.
You need it. You're on the right path. A DMC game starring Lady, Trish, Lucia, and Nico. So you just want a waifu game. You just
want Far Cry 3. Dude, look at that. Fable Heroes Xbox 360.
Oh my god. Minecraft. I'm surprised you didn't become a Minecraft creator.
I made some Minecraft videos that did pretty well. Oh, I remember this Tribes Ascend game. It looked like it was going to be so good.
Was it?
And then it wasn't.
It was not. Is that Solitaire?
I think these are videos. Oh, this is when I interviewed one of the guys from Gearbox.
Look at young Jayshockblast. You look ridiculous. Oh my god. Still got the hat though.
Just yeah.
Huh. I think you've actually aged well, Mr. Blast.
I appreciate that.
You look a lot sloppier then. You look more healthy and distinguished right now.
Yeah, this is a different camera. I loved Borderlands. Anyway, so stop sharing. I have like a bunch of folders of all the past E3s, or not E3s, but PAX. That was actually PAX 2012.
Yeah. One of these days I'll get out to one of those PAX events. I was actually invited to PAX West, but I don't do travel right now.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it would be a lot for me to go to Seattle right now, so I'm not interested.
Your package is shipped. What did they ship me? Oh, into the Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, they're sending you a statue?
No, I ordered it from Walmart. The Steelbook.
The steel, of course. Do you even have room?
No. Dude, like I just have stuff stacked everywhere now. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, you definitely need a new Lego game so you can buy a new house to put your stuff in.
Seriously.
For me, obviously, for me it's Spider-Man 2. But besides that, I'm in a few creator programs, so there's definitely some stuff that I'm looking at on the horizon. There's Assassin's Creed Mirage. There's First Descendants. I'm always on the lookout for like a good third person action multiplayer looter, and that game looks pretty fun. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm in the program for Deep Silver, so it looks like I'm probably going to be playing some Payday 3, which looks fun. I saw Johnny Rocker play some Payday. It looked pretty fun, so I'm interested in trying that. Obviously, a big part of my 2023 plans going into the year was Spider-Man 2 and Suicide Squad Justice League, but one of those games is not coming out this year anymore. So unfortunately, that's out. But
maybe it's fortunately, maybe because you certainly didn't miss it. So now it's just a game that got pushed out to an area where maybe there wasn't going to be anything.
Yeah. So now, assuming it comes out, then I'll have that and I'll resume my plans for that, and then maybe Wolverine that year. So maybe Wonder Woman and Wolverine that year.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe we see some stuff about both of them at the Game Awards.
Yeah, at this point, I feel like they're definitely just going to wait for the Game Awards because they've had all these events where they could have announced that some kind of update on that Wonder Woman game. They didn't do it for Summer Game Fest. They didn't do it for Comic-Con, Gamescom, and they initially announced Wonder Woman at the Game Awards. So at this point, it just makes sense if they're just waiting for that. Same with that WB Games Montreal DC game that they're working on. They haven't officially announced yet. They're probably either waiting for the Game Awards or for that Gotham Knights thing that they're doing in October. So we're allegedly, but definitely doing a thing in October.
Let me just tell you, somebody actually that reminded me of something. First thing Caboose said to me when we were in Chicago when I saw him, hey, tell your boy Sadot that there's nothing happening with the Gotham Knights. And I was gonna just let it go, but I actually forgot that we had that conversation.
There's definitely something happening with Gotham Knights. Like don't tell me nothing's happening when objectively and undeniably something is happening.
If I had to guess,
tell me
Game Pass.
Tell me something not amazing, or not like a DLC with like new characters, and
it's probably going on Game Pass.
Yeah,
for the year anniversary of the game being out.
Yeah, it could be something like that. It could be they could be doing a final patch. They could be doing another heroic assault type of thing. They could be doing any combination of that, plus announcing their next game, which we know there is a next game that is DC.
Yeah, maybe they're patching an ad into the game showing, hey, there's a next game.
But there is definitely something happening with the Knights. I literally looked at the files. It's gold. Whatever patch they put together is gold. It's a thing.
It's like I said, it's probably a Game Pass thing.
It could be, but
that would require a Steam update because you've got Xbox Game Pass PC communicating with Steam.
Yep, it could be as simple as that. It's definitely something. And the anniversary is October, so we'll see what it is, but it's definitely something. Don't tell me it's nothing.
Right, but you were convinced it was a new DLC. Like I think that's that you're shifting the goalpost a little.
I'm not shifting the goalpost at all.
It's something.
I've said what I've said from the beginning.
Something's happening.
Well, yeah, because I was like, hey, there's some kind of activity going on with Gotham Knights. This exact same thing happened a few months prior, and at that time I was also told nothing was happening, and then we got a whole new fucking raid. So that's why I was like, well, this looks similar. This could be DLC. This could be something we don't know, but I was told there's nothing again. I'm like, well, that's obviously bullshit. It's just like it was bullshit last time. So I'm like, I don't know what it is, but it's objectively something. I don't. It's it's probably not playable Batman, but I don't know what it.
I would love it if it was. Everything that I've been told says that they are not doing anything else with the game. If that changes, we'll see. But I do remember being told before the second raid thing came out and mentioning it to you.
Yeah, like, but you're told like that like the day before it came out.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's when like I was told, and up until that point, I had been told it wasn't a thing.
Yeah, that's which is the whole point I was making. It wasn't like, oh, I'm having these expectations. It's like, no, I know from experience and from the facts that
I knew before that. I just didn't tell you until the day before.
Yeah,
because it was one of those things where it was just coming out of nowhere, and if anything got out at all, it would have to come back to me. And I don't want that in my life.
Yeah, what is fine, but my point was that, but I knew, I was confident that Gotham Knights, the first Heroic Assault wasn't the last DLC. They were still getting patches, and I was like, I think they're going to come out with DLC. And everyone told me I was lying, I was crazy, I didn't know what I was talking about. And then they were wrong, like they usually are when they tell me I'm lying or I don't know what I'm talking about. So that's why I'm at the very least keeping an open mind, because I know it's been weird with the post-launch stuff of Gotham Knights. Like, let's just be honest, it's been fucking weird. Yeah. Like we expected them to do some kind of battle pass or something, or at least charge, or at least make an attempt to monetize. They never did it. They've never been really transparent with what those post-launch plans were outside of that first DLC.
They were. It was nothing. Like that was it. It was like, this is the game. Have fun.
Yeah, and then they were like, and then people were like, well, was that it? And then it was like, nope, surprise. And it's like, well, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, but like, it's not like they charged for it, It's just like, hey, here's something else we put through together. You know what I mean? Like,
but which is weird, because it's like, why wouldn't you charge for anything?
I think it was because like, I think they got like shamed into not doing it. I think there was.
This is always weird to me. Like, obviously the
also
game.
What people are trying to do to Suicide Squad, by the way.
Yeah, they're trying to make it not like a live series. Like, it's very clear that Gotham Knights definitely started out as a different game than it was during development. That definitely would explain a lot. But it just feels weird to me where like you might as well just commit to it. Like like, especially since people did end up wanting more post-launch content, and you did do post-launch content.
But by the time it happened, it was just too late,
But even then, like you did post-launch content for Arkham Knight, and that was a single player game. So it was just weird that you didn't like commit to at least a year of Gotham Knights.
But they committed to that well in advance of actually releasing the game. And I remember when I was at the studio, I specifically asked, like, look, it says nothing about DLC or a season pass, which is
weird. On? Like they objectively should have done it, and because I think it would have done well for them.
I agree with you completely. I think if you look at this game, it was absolutely built that way, but it got to a point of no return, and like they changed it. And I don't know what caused it, but something did. And like this game was like tailor made for like the way they did the chapters for each like villain.
Yeah, this was literally perfect for.
And they wouldn't have had to have a huge commitment to like building more of the city, because they could have just worked it into the city, like they did for the other ones.
I feel like there's a really interesting Jason Schreier article to be had about
what went wrong, right?
About what happened with Gotham Knights development. I feel like there's a really interesting story there.
I agree with you completely, but like I feel like once it gets to a certain point, like I said, when we were at Chicago for I could literally show you right now, actually. I haven't posted this because I was trying to like figure out if it was okay. But I've seen other people post it.
What is it? Nudity in it?
No. Hold on. Let me just mute this. It's what I think, and this is a little. You're gonna like this, all right? We think that this is Omni-Man.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
We think this is Omni-Man motion capture.
Omni-Man mocap session.
Like, yeah. I made a TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and everything, but like this is so like the game comes out in like a little over 3 weeks, or about 3 weeks, right? And they're just doing mocap for somebody that has a superhero landing. Like, so like this is one of a few videos. I didn't get the other ones off my phone yet, but like they're literally doing the motion capture right in front of us, and we're listening to them as they're talking about it. And that's why like I muted it. So like I'm talking about where we basically thought it was Omni-Man.
Sounds about right.
So, and I'm under the impression that Omni-Man is the first DLC. He's doing a T-pose. Like, this is really cool to see too, like in person. Like, this is their motion capture room, and like that's pretty cool, right? Like, to be able to be there and see it. Yeah, but it all goes back to that. But the point of the story is, this is mid-August for a game coming out September 19th, and they're still making the content, so you have to like start at a certain point in time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they clearly started with an idea for DLC. They did the Heroic Assault, and then they just was like, oh, well, I guess we're not going to, let's just not do that in anything else. But then also, actually, let's do something. Let's do another Heroic Assault. And this band. So that's why the confusion was, because it's like it's at first it looked like they weren't committed to any post-launch content beyond just that first DLC. But then they kept patching and updating the game, and then they released another piece of playable DLC at a time when they were giving people the impression, or outright telling people, that there was nothing else. And then it turned out to be something else. So that tells me that there's some kind of disconnect. There's something going on behind the scenes where people aren't being told the whole truth or the whole story, or stuff is shifting and changing. So that's why I'm like, I don't know what that DLC is going to be, or if it is going to be a DLC, but I just know from the last time that happened, I'm not going to be caught off guard again. And especially since I can actually this time around saw the Steam DB stuff. So I'm like, maybe this is the last one. Maybe this is nothing at all, but stuff can happen.
I
Stuff changes.
For the life of me, understand why they would invest any more resources into the game. Like, the game is, unfortunately, we hear dead game. It is, in a sense, it's dead. Like, its sales trajectory is mostly over. I'm pretty sure it's down to $20 at this point.
But here's the thing. They could invest. They could still do more, because there's still a demand for the game. I do this analytic shit all the time, and every time I still look and see Gotham Knights has a lot of traffic, and like literally my deal. Let me check where it's at right now. But every time I post Gotham Knights related content, it still goes crazy all this time later, despite everyone saying it's a dead game, no one cares about it. No one cares about it anymore. Gotham Knights is over. No, people still play the game. I can still go online and matchmake. Like literally, I posted my DLC video about Gotham Knights a month ago. Dead game, it's been 3 months. It's been over 4 months since the last DLC. Dead game, all this other stuff. Video got 151,000 views. People still care about the game. If they announce tomorrow, hey, we're planning to drop a DLC that will let you play as Batman, and it's $5, they would make a fuckload of money. That is a fact.
I think that's about the only chance they have. And it would go against everything they've said they were doing, and it would make the story make no sense.
Actually, it would make perfect sense because they could just make it a prequel story DLC.
Yeah, but I don't. It's a circle.
It's easy.
I don't really want to get in.
It's an easy thing to do. Hey, this is a special story where you play a chapter in Batman's life, interacting with the Knights before his death, and we'll let you play as that. Hell, they wouldn't even have to do Batman. They can if they just said, hey, we're doing a season pass. We're gonna have new. We're committing to continuing Gotham Knights for another year. We're gonna have some new characters. We're gonna have Teen Titans. There's so many ways they could still monetize this game if they wanted to. It's sitting right there.
But
and
my
there would still
argument,
be an audience for it.
My argument is they would have had to have already started doing that. And I don't think they have. Like, I just don't.
They might have. They might have. They have cut stuff from. They have stuff from the game that they canceled that they could just reuse and make DLC. Like, they started on a whole Two-Face thing, and it ended up getting cut from the main game. They can literally just turn that into a DLC.
I would hope so, and I wish they would.
They have I think it was Taladia Plays hooked it up. He linked me to concept art they made for Damian Wayne, Catwoman, Solomon Grundy. Like they have all these plans and things they could do. So I'm like, it wouldn't be much for them. Like if they said they were doing a Catwoman DLC, people would come back for that.
But here's my question. What game have you seen be released for a year, go through its cycle, get to its $20 phase, never have announced any kind of expansion or anything, and then suddenly, oh, hey, a year later, season pass, new characters, new DLC. Like, no, they move on to a different game.
I mean, didn't Forbidden West literally do that?
Look who plays that.
A lot of people. That was a big deal. The Burning Shores was a big deal. Not like the game came out in February, a really stacked month. It was well received. We didn't hear anything about it after that for like a year. And then they're like, oh, by the way, we're doing a story expansion DLC called Burning Shores, and that was a thing. So yeah, like it's not something that can't happen. It's like it just depends on what they're willing to do, like especially when it comes to the perception of the public. But believe it or not, people are at this point conditioned to expect more. They don't want to pay for it. So clearly some of them do. Clearly a lot of them do because they ended up paying for it. Like if all my years playing NBA 2K have taught me they're sure as fuck willing to pay for it. The people who bitch about, oh, I don't want to pay for this or any of that, they're in the minority. The majority will pay for it. They're the loud whiners are the minority when it comes to that stuff. They are willing to pay for it. There's a reason Fortnite has been one of the biggest games in the world, and in terms of profitability for the last what 5 years or so. There's a reason NBA 2K and GTA Online rake in billions of dollars. Like, people are willing to pay if you give them a game that they can just play forever. Like they will pay for it.
I honestly, I really and truly, I hope that Sadot the Prophet comes through here. But my best guess is that we're looking at a Game Pass situation, because it's right in line with the time frame. You would see a game like that go on Game Pass, and I don't know.
What, like Marvel's Avengers did?
It did, didn't it?
It did. It went on Game Pass, got it, released new DLC, and got a nice boost in player numbers because of that accessibility on Game Pass and PS Plus.
Yeah, well, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's a both thing. Maybe the patch is going to Game Pass and they're judging from there and seeing. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just can't see this.
You don't necessarily give up on a game if you try to get it on Game Pass and PlayStation Plus. Like, it's like, oh well, we got our sales cycle, but I think we can wring some more out of this game. So let's expose it to more people, especially when you have a game that's set up to monetize. Like, they have so far, they've only sold, the only thing they have, you can buy right now has been cosmetic stuff, but they could always, as they show with Arkham Knight, they could always sell new skins. They could always sell new characters. They could always add new stuff.
Yeah, like, it's such a missed opportunity. I wish they would.
It's there.
I really do, because it was the perfectly constructed game for that. Yeah. Or to be the never-ending game. I feel like people bitch too much about it. I can't please Batman, man.
Yeah, apologize to Captain.
What am I disrespecting Horizon for?
He said he pointed out that you disrespected Horizon.
How? In what way?
You said no one cared.
What?
Yeah, you said something to that effect when I mentioned the Burning Shores DLC. You're like, oh, no one cared about that. And
I thought you were talking. Oh, you were talking about Horizon. I thought you said we were talking about Dead West.
No, why the fuck? Why talk about Dead West? I'm talking about.
That's what I thought. I was like, nobody cared about that game.
I said Horizon.
I didn't hear Horizon. Listen, I'm hearing impaired.
I said Horizon Forbidden West.
So all I heard was Dead West.
Dead
which
West
is also a game, I think.
Dead West.
There's a game called Dead West.
I think it's called Evil West.
All right. Well, old and deaf.
Yeah, there you go. Boomer J.
I like Horizon. I just never finished them. Like, either one of them. I like them.
I finished all of them. I just didn't get the Burning Shores DLC.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not a reach or anything. It's literally just the facts. Like, Gotham Knights could have done really well if they had fully committed to DLC. They still have an audience that would play the DLC if they wanted to. My research, my channel is a testament to that. The fact that there's still an audience for Gotham Knights. If no one cared about Gotham Knights anymore, which is what I see people say all the time, literally on my 151,000 view video from a month ago about Gotham Knights, I had people saying no one cares about this game on the 151,000 view video about said game.
Well, yeah, we're just gonna go in circles. So
yeah. So we'll see what's going on in October. We'll see who's right and what ends up happening. But I do hope they announce that next DC game, because I am very curious which character that they decided. And if it's finally Superman, where's Superman?
Yeah, we that was what Caboose and Uncaged were like begging for the whole time we were there. So if it's Superman, they did a good job hiding it.
And you wasted your request on Batman Ninja.
No, I talked to Ed Boon about Batman Ninja. So listen, this has become a full-on thing. It's funny, when I went to Chicago, I wasn't really going to bring it up much, and the first thing that happened was Alan talking about Batman Ninja, and he wasn't even a part of the original conversation.
It's become a thing. It's taken on a life of its own. Yes, Ubisoft is making an somewhat open world Star Wars game. It's called Star Wars Outlaws. They showed it off during Summer Game Fest. They showed a little bit of it, at during the Xbox showcase, and they showed it more in depth during the Ubisoft showcase. It is basically Han Solo, but female. She's got her cute little product merchandising opportunity, and it looks like they kind of expanded on how you can travel to other planets, like in Jedi Survivor. You basically just hop in your ship, and then they do the cutscenes. It's basically like a loading screen. You go in, and you fast travel to the next destination. But in this one, there's actually looks like there's some degree of space flight, so you can just kind of fly up straight into the atmosphere. They showed a little bit of that in the gameplay trailer and showcase. People were expecting it to be like there were rumors that the open world Ubisoft Star Wars game was like either like a multiplayer game or some kind of a game based on the Mandalorians, and it did not turn out to be either of those things. But we'll see. I'll give Star Wars Outlaws a shot. See what it's hitting for. But yeah, there's another Star Wars game coming out. This one is from Respawn, but it's not. I'm pretty sure they're working on a third Jedi Fallen game. It's a game in the series, but they're also working on an FPS Star Wars game that's going to be out there. So the future looks decent for Star Wars. Not the movies or the shows, but the games. Future looks good.
I just hope. Like, listen, they're doing so much. Disney is doing so much for Revan and the Old Republic era that it's just insane to me to think that this video game is gonna like flop and not happen.
Oh yeah, I forgot Knights of the
yeah, another Embracer F for failure.
Oh boy, yeah. I keep they officially, I think the last I heard, said they're still working on it. They hadn't scrapped it yet. Yeah. I'm honestly shocked they have it.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they move it to another developer, I mean, it just means it's going to get pushed back a little further, obviously.
Because they did, because originally the game was dead in the water.
Yeah.
And then Embracer said, no, we're going to move it over to Saber. And they said they weren't expecting any further delays on that. But then, they had the whole $2 billion deal collapse, and people thought it was definitely getting canceled. They said it's still a thing. So who knows? We'll see. But it's for now, it technically still exists somewhere, somehow.
I just ordered a brand new Revan statue, like through Gentle Giant, and I think they just did something like basically that acknowledges that it's canon now. So like there have to be very big plans for Revan in like some capacity. Yeah. Because they're doing a lot, and I think they also realize that Revan is a very popular character and is going to sell. So
yeah, maybe that's why Embracer is like hanging on to that, because they're like, well, it's a big IP. People love the original game. There was a lot of hype for when they saw the trailer for the remake, so they're like, well,
I squealed.
Yeah, Jay literally he did.
Yeah.
So if they can get this off the ground, then there's a lot of upside for them.
But the they I'm talking about is not Embracer. The they I'm talking about is Disney.
Oh, Disney in general, yeah.
Yeah, they in general are like, it just feels like they're like, look, dude. Okay, I have a Revan Christmas ornament that I got from Hallmark. You can't tell me that they're just gonna do a Revan Christmas ornament,
Like, aren't they doing? Isn't the only? I think we looked at the Star Wars projects upcoming. What do they have? Like they have like the Acolyte, and they have a new movie they're planning with Rey, and I don't know. Maybe
there was a rumor that they were gonna give who did episode 8 that we all hate?
Rian Johnson.
Yeah. There's a rumor that they were going to give him his own trilogy.
Yeah, I heard that's not happening.
Yeah, and I heard that it was going to be Knights of the Old Republic at one point. So, look, Rian Johnson can go make a Star Wars movie. Just keep him away from the Force. Have him go make some space cowboy, whatever shit.
Yeah.
Just leave the Jedi and the Force out of it.
I hope you get your Revan project, and I hope it doesn't suck.
Yeah. I mean, look, man. I know all they showed was like a scene where he turns around and turns his lightsaber on, but that was the greatest part of the 2020s for me.
Yeah. Well, at very least, if it's a video game, you probably won't be disappointed unless it's from Embracer. At this point, I don't know what's going on over there. But I hope that nice Old Republic remake happens, because it's supposed to be a PlayStation exclusive, right?
Yeah, for like at least the first year. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah,
which is weird because the first ones are Xbox exclusives.
Yeah, they probably should.
Not that weird.
I feel like they should just made it cross-platform, but who cares? I'll be playing it if it ever comes out.
Yeah, I mean, look, by today's standards, the first Knights of the Old Republic is rough. Like they've reskinned it, remastered it, repackaged it every possible way they can. Surprisingly, the best version of the game is on Nintendo Switch, but it's rough. It's like it's a turn-based, shooter type game, like hack and slash shooter or whatever. But it's turn-based. It's very dated, but for its time, it was insane technology. The whole game is voiced, which was not done in like 2005.
Definitely hope this new one has some of that Jedi Fallen type of combat.
Yeah, I would be fine with that. I really would be. Like I will never forget, like, that game was so special to me because like
you lost your virginity to that game.
There's what? No. It was just one of those games where like when you get to the end and there's like the big plot twist, I don't know why, but I never saw it coming, and it just made the characters feel that much cooler to me. And
just like an M. Night Shyamalan movie,
I guess. Yeah, I don't want to like I don't know why I'm worried about spoilers on a nearly 20-year-old game, but
well, some of us haven't finished the story, Jay.
Well, I'm just gonna say it. So basically, you play this whole game. This guy with amnesia searching for Revan, and it turns out you were Revan the whole time.
Oh my god! Plot twist.
But nobody knew because he didn't have his mask on.
Yeah. Actually, makes it sound stupid when you say it.
Probably, but like, when you play this whole game and like you don't realize that because they show you watching the fight between Revan and Bastila, so it makes it look like you were a witness to the event and not Revan in the event. You know what I mean?
Seems like obvious bait, but
probably by today's standards. But I'm so happy that I experienced it the way that I did.
Oh, I'm glad you got out of it, Jay. For me, I probably would have figured it out like halfway through.
I'm sure. I'm sure you would have.
Oh, yeah. that happens to me a lot. Sometimes I'll be watching something and within like I remember there was some Netflix movie I was watching, and like within 20 minutes I had figured out the plot twist the entire movie, and I just like, oh, I'll just keep watching. it just happens sometimes. I can't turn my brain off, Jay.
I'm sure it's a blessing and a curse.
It can be. So it can be. Sometimes it's really good, and I'm like only like a couple steps behind. Like Tenet was one where they kept me guessing, but that's mainly because the audio mixing was so dog shit I couldn't even hear the audio of the characters talking on top of the convoluted plot. But that's what it takes sometimes. Because otherwise, if I'll turn my brain off, I'm going to be thinking and going like, okay, this is how this is going to play out. This is how this will work. But sometimes it's about the journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
Even if you, especially with certain genres, like if you're watching a rom-com, you pretty much can guess from the trailer the entire plot of the movie.
Well, yeah.
Within the first 2 seconds. Like if you just read the tagline, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know what this movie is. But you don't watch a rom-com for the scintillating plot and the twists and turns. You watch it for the how it makes you feel, the adventure, the journey to getting to that ending that you know is going to happen. You know, if they surprise you at the end, yeah, bonus.
You can make the same statement for Hallmark movies. If my wife and I ever get divorced, it is 100% going to be because I walked in on her watching a Hallmark movie one time too many and sat there for less than 3 minutes and told her everything that was going to happen. So same can be true for Lifetime movies as well.
Yeah, I feel like they're all. I feel like Hallmark movies are basically. I feel like Netflix basically just makes those now. But they just usually skew them younger. they just cast younger, but they're pretty much the exact same movies. But they just usually take place in like high school or something or college or something. Just younger people and higher budget cameras. You can tell. that's pretty much the only distinction. They've obviously that's pretty much the extent of it. But I think we'll wrap it up. I guess Casual OD'd on his deep dish and had to take
it was good to have him though. You know what I mean?
It was good to have him for a little bit, but he's taking a food nap right now from all that deep dish. I think he left a message. Yeah, he had to run to the ATM, so hopefully he made it back because Chicago is a dangerous place. Allegedly. But I appreciate everyone hanging out. Once again, we'll be back next week. At some point, we're going to have a special Mortal Kombat themed show with maybe some special guests popping up. And I've been talking to some people who said that, hey, you should invite us on the podcast. And I'll be like, yeah, why not have you on the podcast? So I'll look into doing that maybe for next week. So look out for that.
This is all news to me. We had a cold open. Like I was working on something and lost track of time and looked at the clock. I was like, oh, it's 10:55. Let me start closing out of stuff. And I load in. I was sitting in the waiting room for like 12 seconds, and then all of a sudden the show's rolling. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a professional at this point. Yeah,
yep, we all are. Listen, we can roll out of bed and do a show.
Yeah, the only thing that was going to happen if he was like a few minutes early was we were just going to shoot the shit until I hit start the broadcast. So it was fine. We know this by now. The only surprise was that Casual popped up.
Yeah,
right.
Great surprise. We always like that surprise.
All right, so we'll catch y'all next time. I'm Sadot the Gamer.
I'm Casual Avenger.
No, you're not. Say the line.
I'm Jayshockblast.
Yeah, I'm Casual Avenger. Zip it up, and I'm black. I can say it. Zip it up and zip it out.